Okay, welcome back everybody to another video. Today, I've got a special one for you guys. I'm joined here again by my good buddies, Zealsambitions and Saint. I don't think I need to introduce you guys this time, just because I did the last time. But this time, I'm joined by my good buddies, OHBENJI and ATK. OHBENJI, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone listening at home if they don't know who you are already?
Okay. 안녕하세요. Hello everyone. Benji here. I've been maining Destroyer. And I was thinking about switching over to Glaivier. And I don't know, we'll see after this bounce patch.
Oh,
He's doing a little disservice there. Benji makes fantastic videos on YouTube. He also is a growing streamer on Twitch now, a chat spamming Giga Chad. He dono. We'll get into that in a second. And then we're also joined here by ATK. ATK, why don't you introduce yourself to everyone listening on YouTube?
sure. Hi, I'm ATK. I play Lost Ark in Korean server. That's about it. That's all I do. I'm a little older though.
A little?
Oh, man. God damn, man. That Saint trolling me all the time.
He's really active on YouTube. I'm sure you guys have seen him on YouTube. He's pumping out like daily videos about every class involved in carries.
Yeah. Yo, that's so hard, man. How you guys pulled that off?
You're doing it.
Wait, what?
You're the one that's pumping out the daily videos. I mean, how we pull it off?
You guys don't upload per day?
Hell no, man. You crazy as hell, man.
What?
Zeals
Isn't that how it works?
Zeals was. I do it. No, I don't. You do it. Zeals was doing it for a minute. It's hard to do. Anyway, for those of you guys listening on YouTube or on Twitch, this will be posted on YouTube. If you're on Twitch right now, I will have timestamps listed down below for all the topics. Everyone in Twitch chat, say hello to the YouTube frogs. I've got a lot of topics here to discuss today. There's a lot of people brought on. Today, the focus really is class changes, class rebalances, the drama behind that, and some other things that have been going on in the Lost Ark community that I know many of you guys are curious about. So I'll do my absolute best because there is a lot of us here today that I'll try to direct the questions and give everyone a chance to talk because I know so many of you guys want to hear from particular people. So I'll do my best to make sure everyone gets a chance to talk because that's what happens when you have 5 people. But I thought it was great because we recently had the class rebalance that took place sometimes last week. You're muted, ATK. And so we recently had the class rebalance that took place. And I wanted to have on Saint and Zeals because both of them play Sork, and I know Zeals, you have a GS, but you also have a War Dancer, and both of those classes were quote unquote recently nerfed. And I thought it was great to have you guys in comparison to OHBENJI, who plays or mains a Destroyer and a Soul Fist. So I feel like that's a nice balance, right? So we'll start with you, Saint. What was your general takeaway from the class rebalance, and maybe you can give some people listening insight on what that really means?
So the class rebalance, this is kind of a foundation for the future because they've got a lot of big plans for Lost Ark moving forward in regards to the classes, like increased level cap, additional skills, third awakenings, ultimate skills. But before they do that, they have to address the whole balance thing first, and that's where we are now. We're at the first part of the balance part. Later on, they're also looking into like actual overhauls of certain older classes that might not have aged so well. But for now, this is a typical rebalance. We've seen these rebalances before in the past. They were about the same size in terms of scale, so this is no different. The only difference this time is we have a PTR to actually check out the changes before they go live. Whereas before, we would just get the changes after they go live in like an update, and then, you know, players would freak out afterwards. But now we could freak out before, and then there's room for adjustment. So this update really looked at 3 classes in particular that were standing out, which were Igniter, Sorceress, Surge, Deathblade, and Mayhem Berserker. All 3 of those saw moderate nerfs, while some other classes that were kind of not doing as well were brought up. So now the difference as far as parity goes between damage between all the different builds in Lost Ark they're a lot closer to each other now, to a point where it's not as much of a build choice difference as much as it is like a player difference now. If you played better on a build that might be less popular, you will do more damage now. And so there's a lot of points of contention here, because while a lot of the builds are closer in terms of damage, there's people that would argue that certain classes require more skill and more finesse to actually play. And the question that the community has is, should classes that are harder be rewarded with that much more damage, or should it only be a minor reward, a little bit more damage for, you know, more effort or more skill involved in playing it? So I think that's something that you know, everyone here on this podcast will have to comment on, as well as the community themselves.
Yeah, I know with this recent balance update, and even in the past, it's always kind of a scary thing for some players. I know Zeals, I used to watch your stream, and you would talk about how you'd be excited but nervous for these balance changes. We're going to talk about you know, why players do potentially get nervous, but what was your thoughts regarding this balance change? Are you excited for this? Were you looking forward to this?
I mean, come on, man. Like 90% of NAU got nerfed. I mean, not yet, but I just think that's fucking hilarious.
I mean, we'll see who actually rolls off their class because of this. People who are like flavor of the month kind of people.
We'll talk about that. Yeah.
Why everyone playing fucking Blade and Berserker? Like I queue up in NA, man. Like it's 4 Blades doing Guardians, right? I was like I kept asking my chat like how powerful you guys feel today, and they're like, I feel really good. And then as like the balance patch was coming, they started asking me, am I getting nerfed? Am I gonna get nerfed? You know, that's like a sign, man.
Yep. But it also wasn't, you know, people are when an update like this happens, everyone's always scared. You know, am I gonna get nerfed? Am I gonna get nerfed? And that was happening. It was in every one of our streams, right? All 3 of our streams. I was seeing up to following the update. But Benji, on the other hand, you weren't worried about getting nerfed. You were looking forward to buffs. So what were your thoughts? What were you looking forward to with this rebalance? What are your thoughts on the rebalance? And yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone was looking forward to it. They wanted to see like the Lost Ark's plans for the classes. What I think actually happened is, I don't know if it's a little early to talk about this, but
sure, go for it.
well, I want to ask you guys, do you think they use their internal data, right, to do these balance patches?
That's right.
And I was wondering, how recent do you think this data is? Like, I wanted to ask you guys, do you think it's data from like 2 months ago, or like a month ago, or like a week ago?
It's gotta be data from like class performance and raids like Avril hard mode and like Cook Satan and that kind of stuff. Like,
So-
I think they balance it off the top geared players and how they're performing in the highest level raids.
Highest level raids, but do you think it's really recent, or like?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
I have a feeling they based the data off of like 2 months before, or at least a month before.
Scrapper's kind of an example of that as well, right?
Scrapper, Striker, Deathblade
Right.
Striker, maybe.
Right, Scrapper's a little bit of an example of that. Okay. We're going to talk about this. This is a good
Okay,
topic you brought up, so that's good. ATK, you have like 30 classes, so I don't even know what your main is. Do you have a main, or because I just know you have like 30 classes. You're just always running buses all day.
I just have I got 6 mains.
Okay.
But I based that off of like how easy it is to play.
Okay.
I do regret having DPS artists instead of Blade. That one. Well, I did switch to support though, so that's fine now. But yeah, so adding what Benji says, yeah, I think the data might be a little, they might went through a data that's like a little bit older for sure, because like recently, you know how when times pass, like more people get like higher level gear. So when you say that, it's like when 1590 is when you kind of reach that peak, 1590 plus or like 1570 ish. I don't think they have that much of a data at that point. Maybe they based it the patches on that as well, right? Because if you look into it, like historically, you know the red gun lancer, right? It got nerfed and then it got buffed. It got buffed at the PTR. That's
Yep.
basically like a rollback, right? If you think about it.
Yeah.
And then they feel bad about that rollback, so they added like another 3.2%. So and at the same point, they said they look at the internal data for that. But the thing is, if they look at the internal data and they buff it this time, that means their internal data is wrong, right? I think that point's like a more of a big thing that people have been talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of it's also based off of player trends. Like,
Correct.
we've seen with Gun Lancer in particular that a lot of the Gun Lancer community pretty much gets swayed by influencers like Han Dong-suk and how he switched from red to blue back to a red / purplish build with the double class engraving.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of people, they switch their builds based off of that, so that has something to do with it
you
too.
switch it. Yeah, you switch based off of, oh, my favorite streamers were like, this guy said, like, you see it on stream, and then you do like the Hanumatan DPS show off, right? And then you you lose, and then they go, oh my god, I gotta buy it now. And like that's when you kind of sell it. That's what happens though. It's like Bitcoin, dude. The balance is like Bitcoin right now. It's like you just go
Shock scrapper, dude. Shock scrapper.
Yeah, it's like shock scrapper win one time on like Sorceresses. And they go like, oh my god, I have to play shock scrapper now. It's so good. But it's actually the stuff has never been changed, right? It's just that those kind of data is not enough. And I thought the developers were gonna look into it. But
so
it feels like they're missing a little bit.
it's
I
interesting.
also think
Go for it.
I also think that they need physical time. Like I'm pretty sure, like the test server that they prepared, like I don't think they needed some physical time to prepare the test server, like the classes and whatever that's gonna happen in the test server. So I don't think that they had enough time to use the most recent data for the test server.
We'll talk about this more. We'll talk about this more.
Okay.
It's gonna come up and we're gonna get in depth on what you guys' actual thoughts with the server were and everything. But as far as these changes go in general, right? A lot of you guys, I feel like a lot of what you guys are saying right now may not resonate with a lot of players because in NA, in the West, right? All of you guys live in Korea right now. You realize that, which is interesting. I just realized all of you guys live in Korea, right?
And it's good food.
Yeah, I get that. Was that Mom's Touch? Was it Mom's Touch?
I was ordering that, and I'm gonna get it soon. I ordered it.
Is it called Mom's Touch? Is that what it is?
It is called Mom's Touch. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But all of you guys live over there, and all of you guys are much more aware with the meta in general, right? But in NA, we're not aware with the meta, right? In the West and in Europe, they're not aware with the meta because they have a completely different version of the game. They don't have access to all of the same gems, tripods, gear sets, all of those things, right? So they don't know like what's actually strong, how classes actually, because when, for example, War Dancer, right? We're going to talk about War Dancer in particular in the nerf, but it was labeled as a nerf, right? People are like, why is that class getting nerfed? Why am I getting nerfed? That doesn't make any sense to them, right? Because the class feels like doo-doo right now. So it's not like it doesn't resonate, right? But this patch was aimed at, as Saint mentioned earlier, kind of getting working us in the direction of that extra awakening, the fourth tripod, right? Building the foundation, correcting the foundation before you're building on top of it, right? So there are some underperforming classes, but in our culture, we don't really like to label. In the Lost Ark culture, it's looked down upon to have tier lists, right? To say that class isn't good, right? As a community, I've noticed it. I come from World of Warcraft. Not your class sucks dick, it sucks dick. It's easy to say that, you know what I mean? But in this game, it's looked down upon, right? But OHBENJI, I've been in your stream before. And what is, before this balance patch, what was your advice to anyone that wanted to play Destroyer? Because you had a different tone. Because you played one of the classes that wasn't really good, right? So what was your advice to anyone that wanted to play Destroyer? You mentioned in your videos a couple times.
I always ask, like, are you sure that you want to be Destroyer? I mean, don't you see me suffering right now? Like, why do you want to play Destroyer?
I mean, it's fun though. It's fun. It's fun until Valton though.
It's fun to watch.
It's
Oh,
fun.
yes,
It's so
too.
good for the
That's why all
viewers.
the meme videos are
Yeah,
with
that's why you have all
Destroyer.
the meme videos on Destroyers.
Yeah, it's a fun class. It's a fun class, no doubt. Like when you get those big numbers, when you hit with that clink. But
Yep.
there's so many other good classes that's less stressful and
Mhm.
perform better. So
Ooh, yo, can I ask you about the clink? Like they removed it.
yeah, they removed it, but the sound is still there.
How do you feel about that? It's like the same thing.
For those listening, tell them what that is. 'Cause they may not know.
Okay, it's the most strong. It's the strongest skill that Destroyer has. It's called Perfect Swing, and you have to position yourself. You have to swing sideways. You can't swing into the boss. You have to swing sideways, like you're looking somewhere else. Like it's a no-look hit. And you have to hit with the edge of the sword for that clink sound. And there's a tripod that buffs the damage by like, what was the percentage? I don't remember, but it was a huge buff. So if you miss, like if I got a good hit with the edge of the hammer, it would give me like 200 million. But if I miss, it would give me like 50 million.
Well, I mean, I've watched you play a Destroyer before, and every time you would you set up the swing, you do like a grunt before you do it. You like prepare yourself mentally. You like.
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah, you yell. You kind of like yell too.
I've seen you do it like every time. You're like,
I mean, if you play.
I'm amazed you don't use sight focus.
Oh, yeah, you have to side focus too. Yes, has to.
Okay, but we're talking with Destroyer, right? The reason why I bring this up, and I'm just playing devil's advocate for the sake of this for conversation here, okay? If the advice that a lot of what is the advice that we give everybody in our stream when they ask what class, play what you want, right? Okay,
Yeah.
that's the advice we give everybody. Okay, but in Lost Ark, we can all agree that it's a fucking investment in that class, right? Like for the average player, it's a lot of effort, a lot of time, or a lot of money, right? To invest in that class. And if you invest in a class that doesn't feel good, is that the right advice to be giving someone? I'm not cornering any of us because I give the same advice. I'm just playing devil's advocate and asking, is it a bad thing? Should we not be having, I'm not saying tier list, but being honest about advice or saying, hey, that class isn't that good right now. These are the better classes. Is that type of advice? What's the lesser of two evils there? Zeals, go for it. No, go for it, Zeals. We'll go
you know me, like it's not that tier list is bad, right? There's always a king of the throne, right? And like depends on the fight as well, right? But the thing is, ooh, I don't know. I think most of us main swapped a lot, right? Like so main swapping like every 2 weeks puts you behind. Like I just feel like finding the right one, it's hard, man. It is, but if you found the class that the playstyle you like, that's great. But then when balance matches like change like your favorite playstyle, I feel for those guys, man. Like those guys who don't care about numbers, but like their playstyle change. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Say, what do you think about it? I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I mean, the advice that we gave is play what you want. Find a playstyle that actually resonates with you. If you pick your class based off of just numbers and performance, you're gonna end up like how a lot of Deathblades and Berserkers and Sorceresses feel right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you switch to another class, and then we get a rebalance again a year down the line, and then you freak out again. It is hard to find what you like, because in a lot of cases, yes, it takes quite a bit of investment before a class plays the way that it's intended to be played. You have to get your relic sets, you have to get your engravings, you have to get your cooldown gems and everything. But more than anything else, if you play something and you like it, it might get improved down the line, unless you're a Deadeye. But
yeah, we'll talk about
outside of that. Outside of that, it's important. It's still important to find a playstyle that you like. Even though Igniter Sorceress got nerfed, still gonna play her. I just like the playstyle.
Sure.
So I think people should still consider that.
You're leading us into the next topic, which is playing what you want versus playing what is good / meta. Okay, and in WoW, my advice was always that you can find something that is meta, that's desirable, and that you like, right? I always felt like this was my advice. Doesn't apply here, and we'll talk about that. But like, there has to be a class that's decent to play, that people want to play with, and also you like, right? Now, there is the doomer that just loves to play the class that's just terrible, and that's it, and that's their life, and they only like one thing. That happens. Super unfortunate there, right? But would you say that that advice doesn't apply in Lost Ark ATK? Or is the balancing of the game tighter than players would expect? Do you ever notice class discrimination based on that class sucks? Because you do a lot of raids, right? You talk to a lot of raiders in general, and I know Benji's laughing. Does class discrimination exist in this game, or is the balance tighter than we think?
So you're asking me, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So what happens if I say yes? Does the chat blow up?
It's be honest. Just there. That's what they want. They want.
Like
honesty.
I mean, the thing is, I'm always honest, right?
Yeah.
I never play with Reapers. Okay, and the reason why I don't play with Reapers is I don't play with the player, not the class. It's like, so playing a Reaper on playing with the Reaper or like a Deadeye or a Gunslinger, even though I'm a Gunslinger myself, like a end raid. It's like
I did
you play League before, League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Reaper is like, it's like Yasuo mains.
Sure.
On
Genji mains, Hanzo mains.
Yeah, Genji mains in
okay.
the bronze to gold.
Yeah.
No, I do have like Reaper friends that are super good, and they're so good. They're really good. Like, the Thirst Reapers, man. They got all the stagger. It's like, I think it's like top tier. They get MVP all the time sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, not everyone's like that,
Yeah.
So they go, oh, I think this class is good. But the thing is your skills good enough to do that, make that class all worth it,
I mean, in the Korean community, there's so many stereotypes about people who play certain classes. Like, people who play Berserker are
Floor
old
POV.
rich guys who have no skill and are floor POV, for example. Those exist.
I'm old
say that
and floor
most of-
POV. I'm old and floor POV, not rich yet.
Perfect. You're a Berserker.
I'm almost that way.
Anyway, but like, I think that a majority of the stereotypes more have to do not with the damage deal, but more with like the type of player, their survivability. And the reason behind that is because when you do raids in Lost Ark and high-end raids, you're often doing pug content with other people. You don't know the skill of the other players that you're recruiting into your group. You don't know if they're going to be dead or if they're going to waste your time. And people stigmatize certain classes because they don't want to risk that. They like more reliable classes that also do similar deal. And then the things that we say kind of push off to the west as well.
I feel like the Reaper hate is like kind of over though. Like I mean, I think Gunslinger is taking the Reaper hate now. Like, Gunslingers, they start fucking flopping over, right? Especially in NA now as well.
Yeah.
But Reapers, like, they got to a point where you were getting canceled by the Reaper community for the hate. Like, but like ATK said, like good Reapers, they're like machines, right? But like shitty Reapers, just like shitty Gunslinger or Deadeye, they're just on the floor.
Yeah,
waste people's time in a pug. So I like. There's a lot of hype for Reaper right now. Like, she has a nice booty, same booty as the old assassin.
Good animations. Yeah.
Yeah. The sound effects, skill just looks good and smooth. But yeah, it's not for everybody for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a type that tries it myself. It goes like, it's a Reaper's good, but like, why is everyone saying it's bad? And I tried it myself, and I died right away.
Yeah.
Right? I built up my Reaper, went to Vieques for the first time. I straight up died on the first gate. I did Vieques like hundreds of times, and I go like, oh yeah, I got this. I got hit 3 times, and I just like died. Just straight up.
I think I watched
just a quick interruption. I think it's our obligation to mention, since a lot of people are in chat are bringing it up. I don't know if someone could verify it.
Zena's on the way.
Yeah.
But I can't open up the game right now. If I do, then
the podcast gonna crash.
It's just gonna be weird. Okay, go get your Zen away cards if you can. I can't. I'm gonna miss it. Benji, you on your video. Fantastic video, by the way, because it was so ballsy. You made a video where you were like saying it was an unpopular opinion about the Argos release, right? But in that video, you had mentioned that you pushed your weapon because you felt discrimination playing as a destroyer when trying to get into hard mode April groups, right? So have you felt class discrimination before?
Yeah. A lot of times. Ever since OBT.
Okay.
Yeah. So
It's there.
So it exists. So it
It's
exists.
there.
Yeah,
It
does
exists.
exist.
Right.
It's
So
always existed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I
So
was
the-
playing with Soulfist, people hated Soulfist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
My
I
first
switched
character
over
was
to-
Arcana. No one took me in their party.
Okay,
back
okay.
then.
So is it bad to are tier lists actually more harmful than they are? Are they? What do you think is the lesser of two evils?
I think it's not the tier list. It's more of you just see bad players and you don't want them to be in your party.
But you assume that every Reaper is going to be. Do you assume the Reaper is going to be good or bad?
So if I see a Reaper, let's say if I play NA and you see a Reaper, I will immediately think that he's going to die.
Yeah, that's the same
Like
way
straight up.
Yeah.
Like straight up. The same for gunslingers. Don't you guys feel
Yeah,
the
I
same
agree.
about gunslingers too?
I agree.
When you guys play, like, oh my god, this guy's gonna die. And
I
if
don't mind.
if he also doesn't throw a flare, that means he doesn't use battle items either. 100%. GG, dude. I might want to reset there, dude.
I was avoiding playing with Berserkers. Like every day I look for my Hanamatan party, I just don't play with Berserkers because I just know they're synergy thieves. They don't bring red dust.
Yeah,
But
they
now
don't bring
after
red dust.
PTR, I'll actually play with them. They actually fixed that, so
Yeah,
I'm fine with
yep.
it now.
Yeah, Berserker's good. That's 6%. But I feel bad about the damage nerfs though, a little bit.
We'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, knowing that, then it makes sense why players, these balance patches are important, right? Because if your class isn't doing that well, you've invested a lot of time in it. You're Benji, you want to go to the goddamn moon. And then maybe you're Saint and you're on the moon. Maybe you're a little bit more nervous about what's going to come, come patch day, right? So with this patch, everyone's overreacting, right? I was in Zeal's stream and everyone's freaking the fuck out.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? He's having to give everyone advice, and I'll go to you, Zeal's, here with this. But well, why don't you first tell me your experience? What has your chat been like? What has your community been like? What has your experience been like interacting with people in the West? Or
Me?
KR? Yeah, Zeal's, yeah.
I think we talk about it for like 30 minutes, and after that, people just get, like Twitch chat is really cool in its own way because if you talk about a topic too long, they're like just sick of it. So it just works itself out, right? So nerfs happen. I mean, it didn't happen yet. It's on the PTR. But of course, people panicking. Like you saw, like the engravers, they went up to the moon. Same thing in Korea. Like it's the same reaction. People are like, NA's bad or EU's bad. It's the same thing globally, man.
Yeah, we'll talk about
People panicking in Korea as well. Like tripod dust gone up. Like people changing already. They're stripping their gems. Like, it's just people panic, but it's not even finalized. It's not even out yet. And we don't even play those builds. Some of us in NA don't even play those builds, like the War Dancer, right? So they just
with
I just feel like I'm in the crypto universe right now, man. Sometimes.
That's
I don't know what game I'm playing.
The Bitcoin.
Yeah, dude.
Bitcoin,
Like you
man.
hear one bad tweet from Elon and people fucking panic. It's like the same shit right now.
I mean, but the thing is, I don't really blame him though. You're right? Because I remember there was it was in Shadowlands, right? And this is just an example, and I'll give you a Lost Ark example as well. But it happens a lot. Rogues were nerfed, and I remember Peekaboo. I don't know if you know who he is. He plays. Most people in my chat know who he is. He went up. They nerfed rogues, and it wasn't even the nerf hadn't even happened, right? It actually hadn't even hit live servers yet. And a lot of these changes, I would say, do require like some testing to find out. So the nerf, just the patch notes come out, and this guy's like, oh, they just he puts on Twitter, way to you completely destroyed the rogue spec. It's unplayable now. It looks like we're not just doomer, right?
Yeah, dude, I hate that. Like it's dead. Like this build is dead.
It's dead. Next day, he plays that spec and he climbs to the top of the ladder after the nerfs, right? And to his credit, in my Discord, when the War Dancer nerfs came out, everybody was fucking, everyone in my Discord's, oh dude, War Dancer got fucked. It's horrible. War Dancer nerfs are, you know, da-da. And there's a clip of ATK that was posted in my Discord where you're saying they're dead, dude. This spec is fucked, da-da-da-da. And then the same night, I don't know what his name is, starts with a P. This guy's simming 20 million DPS, you know.
Bullshit.
Yeah, 20 mil DPS on a 1 minute sim, and then now they're back to the moon. So it's like, how valuable, ATK, do you think testing is? How valuable, players that are concerned about these class changes, what would your advice be to them overall?
Like testing?
Mm-hmm. How much time should they wait before?
To explain about that, like I thought, so the reason why I said the War Dancer was like fucked is because they had to rebuild stuff, right? Like as in they lost their crit synergy and stuff. But when you think about it again, if you lose that 16.6% crit synergy, you can just get it from somewhere else, correct?
Yeah.
And since someone actually did the test of getting it somewhere else, and then they run the actual tests and stuff, like it happened to be better. So technically, at that point, I was wrong there.
You're not. I want to stop you there. I'm not putting you on the spot. Literally, everybody was fucking saying that. Everybody was saying that War Dancer got screwed because they lost their huge crit buff. The rune interaction changed. So you're not wrong at all. I'm just pointing out that everyone thought that, and then here comes.
Oh yes.
Right?
And then in the testing part, I've always said when people come and ask me about like, is it a nerf and a buff, right? There's like two factors. You need to see if a new build comes out after the PTR. If there's like a new build. If there isn't a new build, number two is like, is there someone good enough testing the class? And War Dancer has a lot of people who are super smart testing out builds.
Yeah.
That's why it came out the fastest, because we probably have that the smartest guy that actually plays War Dancer, and he just types in the calculator and puts it to the T, like puts it to the 0.1%, like 0.1 second. And like he just gets the biggest numbers. And if you have someone like that doing that for your class, everyone's just so super lucky, right? Not other classes have that. For example, someone like I talked to everyone for Sophist too, right? There's not that many researchers for Sophist, right? There's not many. Yeah, no one's researching for Sophist, and everyone thinks like, oh my god, it's a nerf. There's not that one scientist. They're like, nah, I got this, man. Let me figure this build out. There's no one like that right now. For at least energy overflow Sophist. So that's a problem. So basically, if you just have more users technically that are connected with the class, that's better. So when you question about like what is the test period kind of stuff, maybe like a week, like 2 weeks, because it's just been the first week still. That should be like, we have to wait until those good guys figure out all the builds, but because it takes a long time.
I remember I was in Discord. We were watching these changes. It was late at night, and one of my friends who plays War Dancer is in a call with me. And he goes into Zeal's chat, and everyone's just saying it's so doomer, right? Like about the War Dancer changes. It looks so bad. Everyone's being such a doomer that he types in the chat, in Zeal's chat, is she okay, Copium? And then we made this meme in Discord. I'll show the stream. But it's just this face of despair asking, is War Dancer okay? And that's just the average Twitch viewer. But to your credit, Zeals, you were saying, you literally said that. You said there's going to be people that are going to be testing out the class. You have a lot of great people behind that play War Dancer. And you mentioned the same thing he just said. Were you worried? Because I know you invested you just pushed the weapon, you invested a lot of time in it. I know you switched from First Intention to the Esocentric build, and then you maybe have to go back. Were you worried as a player that invested a lot of time, money, whatever, into War Dancer?
No, man. Like, dude, it's like it's not even the first time. It's not the second. It's not the third, right? We're called Beaver Masters for a reason. Right? So, dude, I actually spent like $500 yesterday just to prove a point. I'm not giving up on War Dancer. I'm actually building her back up.
Nice.
And but the thing is, like, it's not the numbers that make us angry. It's just that the developers sometimes don't know what to balance, right? Like as Benji was saying about, like, what do you guys think about, like, when, like, how many months ago, like, did they pull this data from? So I don't know, like, I think the major community concern is like that. Like Gunslinger community is also pissed about like how their 9/7 rock has been nerfed because 5 engraving and 1 is better for Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Because you could use Rain of Bullet now. So it's just like overall, like it's always like the developers didn't hit the mark. My class didn't get the things that we asked for. You know, every class has like 20 things they want. Like none of them, or maybe one, gets addressed, and they feel like sad.
Yeah.
I know we can talk about this a little bit, and then I want to ask Saint something, but the reaction of like a lot of players, I would just say, you know, I feel like I have a lot of the Western audience in my stream, and you know, they love to say that Westerners complain too much and KR doesn't complain at all. But I remember I was also on OHBENJI stream, and he was opening up Inven, following. He's like, oh, whenever there's bad stuff going on, you always want to go to Inven. And I have a clip. I would love to show up. It might be difficult to pull up, but it's like the first post on Inven or on OnStove, Inven, whatever, is you motherfuckers. Like you like that's the first post. It's like in Korean,
man.
you motherfuckers. You know.
It was a sophist. It was a sophist Inven.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah, they
can't
were
blame
like-
him.
Berserkers are mad too, right? Like Berserkers are really pissed off right now because there's a lot of whales and shit. Yeah, they're pissed.
Yeah, Berserker has a lot of whales. Yep.
So, I thought that was interesting. But Saint, I want to ask you, what is your honest? Because you know you've spent a lot of time on your Sork. You've really gone in on your Sork. You know, 16-15 or 16-10.
1610.
16-10. What are your emotions? What are they like when you open up? Because like people are, you know, Zeal's talking about 9/7 stones getting nerfed. It's a lot that goes into your character. Were you nervous? And how do you feel about the ignite changes?
I mean, we guessed it long before this PTR that Igniter was going to get nerfed. There were 3 candidates for classes to get nerfed, and that was Igniter, Sork, Mayhem, Zerk, and Surge Deathblade. All 3 of them did get nerfed. And we got the numbers down to a T in Sorceress discussions, and the real loss for current endgame Sorceress was 9.7%. And this is compounded by a nerf that we had received back when the class had launched as well. But it was to be expected. I kind of saw it coming. I thought it was fair. I would have actually have liked to have seen it reduced a little bit further, but given more identity gauge gain so it could be a little bit more consistent. I thought that would have been fair. I know there's a lot of people that are doom and gloom, a lot of people asking if Reflux is better. I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast that, you know, the disparity between damage between builds is very small now between a lot of the builds. Reflux is not that much weaker than Igniter. Remnant Energy is barely weaker than Surge. First Intention is right up there with Esoteric now. Time to Hunt is right up there with Peacekeeper. And so, yeah, it sucks a little bit when you play the harder spec that, you know, someone can do more damage than you on the easier spec. But I think it's the right way for them to do it, so that it's more about your choice in playstyle more so than, oh, this one definitively does more damage, you should play this one, and if you play that one, you know, what are you doing with your time? That kind of thing.
That's the ideal situation, right? Where you have two, you know, two viable options, right? That's what we're looking for. Otherwise, why have 2 engravings if everyone's just playing 1?
Right. But then the thing is like,
go for it.
Why I see some people like, it's a very small minority in the West, but they just like put down the other spec, man. Like,
yeah, they attack it.
Surge and RE are like that.
Like Reflux, they like bully the Reflux Swords, then the Reflux Swords bully the Igniters, and then you know the Surge Blades that all acted like they're all high and mighty. Yeah. Now they're fucking threatening to quit. Karma, bitch.
At the end of the day, they both go floor POV though.
Yeah.
I don't. That doesn't matter if you're RE or, you know, Surge, right?
Yeah, I can't wait for these Surge Blades to go to Vicus. You know, Vicus hard.
Yeah, man.
I got a donation, a bit donation before the show started. It was saying, basically he was referencing saying, why would they nerf Surge? It's harder to play. It should have higher DPS increase, right? It should be doing a lot more damage because more difficult to pull off. And I said, literally, bro, like really right now, it's not hard to play Surge, right? Like right now like nothing's hard to play right now. The bosses aren't that difficult, right? It's easy to get out damage. But maybe down the road you'll experience how hard it is to play it later. I gave up on Surge. I was having so much fun. And then I just did like a dungeon, an Abyss dungeon, and I just got so sick of like the boss phasing too fast and me just sitting there and my Surge running out. It just pissed me. And I know it's gonna get worse. So I'm like, I'm over this. I can't do it. I'm too old for that. Benji,
Yes.
you on the other hand, unlike Saint and Zeal's, coming out on top somehow. His class just doing more damage, but you on the other hand, you were going into this thing. Your title was, "We're going to the moon." Like that was literally your Twitch title the day of the changes. We're going to the moon. So what are your thoughts? I know we can talk about Soulfist a little bit if you like, but what are your thoughts as a Destroyer main? Patch notes come out, PTR comes out. How do you feel?
There's two types of destroyers. There's a group that wants practicality, and then there's a group that wants big numbers, like bigger numbers. I'm more on the side with the big number side. I want to see bigger numbers. I don't care about the difficulty, but I want to see bigger numbers. But I can't complain because it was a good rework, I guess, for Destroyer. It was a total overhaul. Like everything changed. We got taunt.
Yeah,
I thought that was the most random thing.
That's cool.
But we got taunt.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna use taunt in a bro should phase like 5-6, but anyways, there's people that are really happy with the changes. It's more of a sustained damage class now than big burst damage class. But I can't complain. I mean, it was a good change for Destroyer overall.
Cool.
It looks much more comfortable.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
a lot
heard-
more convenient. Yeah.
But I heard the Destroyer community is like split on that, fighting over go back to the old ways versus, like he said, like damage versus pain or practical.
Yeah. It's we're completely split into two groups.
Wow.
It's like Soulfist changed a little bit too, though, right? Lost some damage, but less frustrating to play, more consistent, right?
Right. Soulfist, I don't know what they're trying to do with Soulfist. Every
It's
time,
confusing.
Every
every time they balance patch Soulfist, it's like they kill the class and then they teabag.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad.
Okay,
they
well,
kinda did-
I mean, statistically, there's low, like there's so much low Soulfist though. It's like right above Deadeye.
yeah.
Okay? There's so little. I mean, I have a friend that has just like 6 Soulfist, right? I don't even know if he's gonna play anymore.
Oh, man.
I feel so bad for Soulfist.
It's every time they just get squished for no reason. I don't know.
every game has a class like that. I wanted to ask you, ATK, because we got the chance to hear from Zeals and saying about their classes, Benji on his, but I was in your stream and you were ranting about something. About what was the rant of? So you're always honest. Chat wants you to be honest, and you got it out of your system, and I was like, "Fuck, I missed it." And you were ranting about players' reactions to all of this stuff. Could you just give me?
I don't remember it like 100%, but it was when NA folks were complaining about the nerf, and then I was explaining it that my friend was researching it and they got it, and then I said that Surge has like a new build, etc. whatever, so it's not as bad, or you can play it if you like playing Surge. And then the NA was like, and then someone told me that, why are streamers so reluctant to say like which is better? And then I told them, like I just flipped up because like the dude not only disrespected the guy that's researching the build, he didn't know shit and he just talked like that. That's the thing I don't like, because if he can talk shit to me for like being bad, but like you can't just shit talk someone straight up by researching a build And then they just go, oh wait, what? Then why is that the case? Like, you know, just being like a smart ass, right? They're very ignorant, right? And then I just told them, like, you just can't do that because the PTR change for Korea does not apply to NA anyway, because you guys don't even have relic accessories.
Yeah.
You guys don't even have the relic sets, so it's so far off. So by the time you guys get the same patch, the balance might be different again. Because I think the point here is they open up a PTR server. That means they gotta do more tests with users, right? So there will be more. I think there will be more balance tests. Like they're just gonna tweak a little bit of stuff based on feedback because it hasn't, you know, it just hasn't done that before, right? So when we have someone like that, you just have, I don't know, you just had the NA guys just had that moment, right? And I just have to flame him.
Sure,
You have to flame him because I think that guy needs to dodge the pizza first, you know, like that kind of stuff.
Sure.
They should practice dodging the pizza first before telling someone to why you think this class sucks, you know? You know, someone's gotta tell them that. and it was me at that time.
No.
Like,
it makes sense. It totally makes sense. I was just curious. I mean, that's Twitch in a nutshell of just constantly getting those types of
but they didn't go over the line though. They didn't go over the line because like they can always say something else, but like someone else who just trying to figure out like to you know, oh my class is fuck. What should I do? Like they're just trying hard and they're just pouring gasoline on top of it. You know, you don't want that.
With that though, I am curious. With players bringing, you know, talking about, you mentioned the relic sets and how that doesn't really apply to us. What does apply to us is the destroyer stuff though, right? In the West. So I have the same belief. I had the same idea. I heard Zeal's talking about it too. And maybe some of you guys have talked about it. This has to be, is it a conspiracy theory? Is this tinfoil hat of me to assume that, okay, they pushed destroyer back a little bit because it was supposed to come earlier. We're getting Lance Master, which is great. People actually wanted that. But there's no way they released destroyer. They're going to release destroyer with these changes, right? There's no way destroyer comes without these changes. And they're going to change the playstyle of it soon after. Do you guys think, Zeals, what do you think about that? Do you think we're going to get destroyer with the, in what is it going to be, late May, probably, with this?
Yeah, I mean, I used to think logically, but I don't know what the Amazonians are going to do, man. It's always 50-50, right? Like, you got so shafted by the Last Master release, right? The date being announced.
We'll talk about that.
I saw a clip of you. Yeah. So, like, at this point, man, the Amazonians, I don't know what they're going to do. At this point, just roll a dice. I just let it come.
Yeah.
Just let it come. Like a fucking tsunami, just sweep me away, man. I just don't care.
Don't care anymore.
Just stand there. Yep.
Saint, what do you think? Do you think they're going to be getting this balance patch out as soon as possible, at least with destroyer?
Yeah, I think that's what'll happen. I think any class that I mean, we'll probably get a good idea with Lance Master if she's in her old state. I think Lance Master will probably be in her old state, not updated yet, because Lance Master will release. I'm actually not sure when the PTR changes are actually going to be finalized, because the actual changes slated for this month. But I'm not. The PTR, when they released it in Korea, they said that it's running until further notice. So
the director said May, but I don't think the changes are over, man.
Yeah, I think that anything that we see now is still going to be adjusted.
I'm scared.
Ellen is probably going to release its old state.
Next week they gotta go. Oh, we gotta lower ignition damage a little more.
That'll be in pain. But yeah, I don't know. I think some of these changes are so large and sweeping that I mean, Smilegate being the developer and knowing that they're pushing these classes out to the West, they have to be aware of the popularity of these classes in Korea and what made them unpopular in the first place. And if they want these classes to be as exciting, as interesting, and as adopted as people would hope for a new class, then they would employ these changes, especially for a class like Destroyer, terribly unpopular class up until these changes, and then now it's looking much better. And I think there's a lot of people in the West right now that look at Destroyer and they're like, I want to main that class, I want to play that class, based off of how everyone's hyping it up right now.
Yeah, I feel like it's, well, let's talk about it. I feel like Scrapper is going to be the new FOTM, Andy. But Benji, what would you say? I'll ask each of you guys this. What are your biggest winners of this balance patch?
Shock Scrapper, Destroyer, Glaivier,
Yeah.
and Striker for not getting nerfed. And
Can you finish up, but then elaborate on why you think Striker?
I think
That's
Artillerist got
surprising.
a decent rework, but they're not happy. I don't know why. Also, Arcana and Shadowhunter and Remaining Energy Deathblade and Reaper.
It's a lot. Why did you say Striker? Because I'm sure the West would be really interested in hearing why you think Striker's.
Striker, I mean, if you look at some recent streams of other Striker mains or people who are playing that have higher gear, the damage they put out
I've
is
seen it, yeah.
insane.
Yep.
Like, so there's not that many Striker streamers. So it's not really exposed, but it's just that the damage they put out is it's crazy. I mean, if they get DPS MVPs in a Bro Shit 5-6 hard mode, that means they're pretty goddamn strong.
What about you, ATK? What are your biggest winners? Who are your biggest winners?
Biggest winners? I think
That's
it's about the same as what Benji said. Shadowhunter's good. She just got a 6% damage buff basically because it's a maintained synergy, right? That plus Scrapper's good. My friend who is a one-trick Scrapper friend, he's just like he's up there. He's just so happy, right? And what else? Well, Destroyer as well. And yeah, same thing for Striker too. Because Striker's worst thing was you kick and then you go through the monster. Right?
Yeah.
And that is like the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah.
But they changed it so you can actually play Striker well, and it will be actually satisfying to get those big numbers, right?
What about actually, Saint, what about you? What are your biggest winners? The same thing?
Biggest winners, I think Destroyer, Scrapper, Arcana. There's so very few Arcanas, but they just got such a nice damage bump, and their secondary build is actually kind of like decent damage now as well. And I gotta say, good for Reapers for going from literally the worst counter in the game to probably the best counter in the game.
Dude, there's so many memes about that, dude. How does a melee character have like this more than half a screen away counter? And
and then you have something like Summoner who has to hump the enemy's face to get the counter off.
Yeah,
on their new counter.
I was showing my chat about that meme. Like Artist counter, like she just gets ran over. Like this little midget. She's dead, dude. Like I don't know. What?
Oh my
god.
What about you? What about you, Zeals? What are your biggest winners?
Biggest winners are the ones that means strikers are happy as hell. Like remaining energy blades are like, whew, dude, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Whew. They're all like, yo guys, fuck up. Let them sing, just be quiet. Same thing with Scrappers, man. Scrappers they should not be celebrating right now, man. They should be quiet. It's like that movie. Goodfellas. They robbed the truck. They gotta stop buying shit. They gotta stop buying mink scopes. Stop buying nice cars. Like just whoa, relax. Whoa.
Yeah. I'm on the same page as you, kind of, where I feel like the biggest winners, because you knew those classes were gonna get buffed, but we knew I think the classes that got away are the biggest winners, right? Like, I think I was saying it's Blade. Like, okay, Surge got nerfed. A lot of people played RE anyway. It's easier to play, right? You have great synergy.
I mean, that's the weird thing is that like among the classes with Blade, the majority of them are remaining energy anyways because of the practicality of playing it.
You get away pretty good there. And my chat's like question mark when I was saying that, like getting all mad at me. But like, dude, if you're a Blade, you got away and then War Dancer as well, right? Like coming out like actually you read the notes. The intention was to nerf the class, has too good a party synergy, and brings a lot of damage. Still doing a lot of damage. following the changes. So that's a winner in my book. Now, I still feel like the dude, I can't say his name. Can you say it again, Zeals? Posha shouldn't have put that fucking video out until, you know what I'm saying though, right? Like wait till the shit goes through and then put the goddamn video out, right? Anyway, so with that,
but though, 1 second.
No, go for it.
Even though he can do that, not everyone.
Yeah,
People try to imitate. You can't, dude.
Yeah, you always have that faker guy, you know, like just go above the balances. You can't balance. You got to balance him first.
Speaking of balance,
He's too smart.
Speaking of balance, ATK, what are your biggest losers of the patch? Who are the ones that you know? We don't have to call them losers. If you want to call them something else, be more freaking.
No.
But whatever. Who are your biggest losers of the patch?
The one in shambles, right? I think it's Soulfist. I just feel so bad. This is when I played this game. This is the first time I feel bad, and I always recommend every single class except Soulfist now. Yeah, it's actually not Burst. What was it? What is the other one engraving called? Burst?
Energy overflow?
No, yeah. So energy overflow I don't want to recommend, but you can do robust energy though. But people who like energy, I played energy overflow as well because you get to spam skills. You like it, and like some people do like to piano their skills. Soulfist energy overflow, you kind of needed the setup skill, and that setup skill is completely gone. So you don't like. Is he a support now? Like doing the little shield thing that they make, because if you use energy release, it creates like a zone where you can take damages, right? Like who's gonna use that? Right? It's just so bad, dude. It's just so bad.
Benji?
I just feel bad.
Benji?
Yeah. Oh, the biggest losers?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the ones that took a
Sure,
hard hit.
whatever you want to call them. Yeah.
Surge Deathblade. There's no reason to play Surge Deathblade anymore. There's just no reason.
What if somebody said fun?
What's another class that took a hard hit?
Wait, what if somebody said?
Soulfist.
What if somebody said fun? They said, "I'll play it for fun." Yeah,
it's good.
For fun?
Yeah. What's your advice? Well, what about fun, Benji? I want to play with Surge for fun.
Wait, wait till you get out DPS by remaining energy.
Yeah, but if that's okay, you can still play.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Also, there's the Shadow Hunter, the different one. It's a perfect depression.
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Those guys
Perfect
took.
depression.
I feel
Depression.
bad for. Yeah, I feel bad for those guys too. It's perfect depression, dude. You're so.
Yeah.
Like the class was bad already, right? And then they just got nerfed afterwards. I don't know what happened to them.
Did you see their
I just feel bad.
forums? Like the forums for the Perfect Depression as well as the Mechanical Scouters. They're like, is there a build that exists that we don't know? Why did we get nerfed?
Yeah, it's like they question. Am I not smart?
Yeah. They're doing like some like knack in math. Like, what? Did we miss something? Did we miss the mark here? Do they know something we don't know?
Saint, what about
Secret
you?
OP build.
What about you, Saint? Your
Surge Deathblade definitely took the worst end, and it's not necessarily because of the damage loss, because yeah, they lost 20% damage on Surge, which when the math was done equates out to actually around like a 12 to 15% global damage loss. Not the worst thing in the world. The biggest problem is Surge Deathblades had a very, very specific playstyle in Korea, which was the 12 stack cycle, where one cycle of your skills got you to 12 stacks, and then one skill would get you back the full orbs. Since they changed the formula on how you get orb return on Surge, you can't actually play that way anymore. It just doesn't work. And so beyond just a damage loss, they lost their actual playstyle, the way that they played. And so I think still, even after the patch, if someone plays Surge Deathblade perfectly, they'll still do more damage than remaining energy, but the practicality of the class has always been really bad. That's why most people played remaining energy. And so you're playing something that's significantly harder for just a tiny, tiny damage gain. I think the only people that would even consider playing Surge Deathblade at that point are like Hell Mode Raiders, and that's it. But of course, Parses and Trixian aren't like, they're not one-to-one with the true rating experience. If you like Surge Deathblade, play it. It still creates a giant number with the Surge skill, but if we're talking about like damage over time, remaining energy was more popular. It's going to only be more and more popular. if nothing is adjusted with that change after the fact. Also, I think Deadeye's,
Okay.
it's really unfortunate because their damage output is really good, but God, they are so hard to play.
Yeah,
I despise the melee mechanic. I wish they adjusted that at least a little bit. You're actively punished for the boss taking 2 steps forward and then losing 50% of your damage. Some
Plus he
Deadeyes
moves
have.
back.
What's up?
yeah.
Plus
Plus
the
he moves
pushback.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you lose the back. Some Deadeyes in Korea have proven that they can MVP on the class, but they have to work 3 times harder than equivalent classes. So technically, yeah, they're a little bit better now because the classes that were out damaging them, they all got nerfed and they were left untouched. But it's still frustrating to play the class. And I think the only people that play Deadeyes are like psychopaths, really. Like who does that to themselves?
I mean,
So I wish they just got a little bit of quality of
Coxon,
life,
yeah.
just a little bit. It would have made it much better.
Zeals, what are your biggest losers? Who are your biggest losers?
I'd say Sophist, yeah. I just they're always sad, man. Just I wish they were happy. They have nobody to like stand up for them. They just you know, like Berserkers, right? Berserkers, they got fuckers that like just us, right? Like crazy, like gangsters, right? Sophist, they just bend over and just cry. Like they need like a father over there or like somebody, dude. Somebody needs. They're abandoned like by everybody. I don't know, man.
What he's referencing,
By statistics.
what he's referencing, guys, is that if you're just listening on YouTube, on Twitch at least for Korea, we have like figures for each class. So when that patch came out, everyone was tuning in to see like. I remember I was watching Captain Jack play Lance Master. I was like sitting there. Speaking of biggest losers, I guess my biggest loser is my fucking wallet because I just pushed my weapon to +20 and ain't no way I'm playing no Nerf Berserker. So we're moving on to the next topic. It's meta chasing. I'm the worst at this. Okay, I it's bad, and I know you know this very well, Zeals. Okay, I am the worst, dude. I can't. I've always been like this. Listen, if you're watching me right now. You're listening. I'm the worst. I'm a FOTM Andy. I know what I am. I'm terrible. I hate it. I want to do big numbers. I want to do big damn. I want to be desirable. I want to feel something that I don't feel in my real life. I want to feel desirable, chat. I want to be the best class. Okay?
Thick legs.
So, but in this game, it's terrible to be a meta chaser, right? Because unlike other games, I would say, you know, you can get away with maybe re-rolling here and there. You know, maybe you have an expansion reset, but we even know for tier 3 we're going to be in here for a little bit. And then with that, we're not even going to get that hard reset, right? So it's going to be even harder to look for that opportunity to kind of switch over if you do want to change classes to a real main. Right now, you're not experiencing this. If you're listening to this, you're not really experiencing that like deep end game. But you know, the game does have some systems to allow you to switch, right? With that, before I hand it off to you, Zeals, I want to give people listening a couple of examples. I mean, like, think about how dangerous it can be in this game. Reaper is a great example, right? How many people rolled Reaper when it came out because it was busted as hell? Then I think Saint, you said, I don't know, I don't want to quote you because of the 50%, you know, Guardian raid thing, but I think you said to me one time it was like 40% nerf.
Yes, that's accurate.
Right? 40% nerf to Reaper. And then that's why there's a lot of Reapers. People switched over to that class, right? And then it got nerfed because it was so overpowered. Destroyer is another example of a class, right? When it came out, it was really, not when it came out, but there was a build I believe people switched over to when you were using, I think it was just your identity, wasn't it? It was like one-shotting bosses, if I remember correctly. I think Soulfist was another one of those, similar to that, right? Where your awakening was one-shotting bosses. Right. So people
skipping phases,
skipping phases and stuff like that. FOTM rolling, right? Zeals, what is your experience with FOTM rolling? Can you, for everyone listening, yeah, just share your experience with. Your experience.
As Saint said, like he saw this coming. We all saw this coming, right? Like Surge, Igniter, come on, man. Like I asked, like my Korean viewers, like, do you think that Igniter Source is gonna go unscathed? Nobody's sitting there saying that, you know, Igniter Source is not gonna get changed, right? Like we all knew this. So I already
Yeah.
made a scrapper, dude. Like at launch. At launch for NA, I had scrapper power pass. So she's plus 16. She's going to the moon. Just scrappers, guys.
Okay.
Oh man, I don't want to get nerfed in the PTR right now. But it's in terms of like switching mains and I think right now is okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you just gotta accept the fact that you're gonna be a little bit behind. Like if you're trying to get to Bolton day 1 of release, you might make it, but you might not as well. That's the cost of switching mains. Like I have a 1590 alt now in
Yeah.
Korea, so
Yeah, your GS
If I
War
did-
Dancer, right? It was those two, right?
yeah, I might switch back to War Dancer, so I'm stripping Gunslinger. Yeah, so it's gonna be if I didn't main swap, you know, she would have been to the moon, but it is what it is.
So you would say you're a meta Andy, like me.
I'm a glow Andy.
Sure, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
But you got that
Meta's
GS,
nice
man. That
too.
glow is goddamn terrible, bro.
yo, what is- like I stand next to a sorceress and she just sucks my glow in. There's like this gravitational pull sorceress have.
Yeah,
My
Saint,
donut just gone.
Saint's
yeah.
got an insane glow. You switch Saint. By the way, I'm just moving us along just because we have so many topics. So, Saint, you switched to Sork from Berserker, right? And now
Yep.
I heard that you're looking when Aeromancer comes out. That's going to be maybe your new main, right?
No.
No, you're not
No,
doing it.
absolutely not.
Okay, okay, let everyone. Okay, perfect.
I mean, every new. First of all, we're streamers. We're obviously gonna make every single class that comes out as content.
Okay.
But I plan on raising every single character. But Aeromancer sounds pretty cool, so I might raise her to like maybe where my Berserker is. But Sorceress is gonna remain my main. I switched from Berserker to Sorceress because this was when I did the switch. It was when Abril came out, and this was kind of around the time where people were starting to get really annoyed at positional and melee classes, as was I. And so I just wanted to switch to a ranged, non-positional class. Before Berserker, that was my main for a long time. And before that, it was Arcana. And then Arcana, I switched off because everyone hated playing with Arcana. But yeah, when it comes to like switching mains, you know, the average player in Korea doesn't do it. And the reason why they don't do it is because it's such an investment. If you want to switch mains, you're already so deeply vested into a character that, you know, would you really change your main for a potential side grade, even like not even a gain in power, but just like a different playstyle altogether? And for a lot of people, they spent months, maybe even money in order to make their character into like the high 1500s. It's generally not seen as worth it unless you're able to spend a lot of money to switch over. In the West, you know, while we don't, well, you know, we as content creators, we don't encourage people to meta chase as much. If you did want to change your class, it's actually still a pretty fine time to do it right now. It's still really early in the West. So if you are that kind of player, you know, yes, you'll be set back a little bit, but if there was a time to do it, it would be now, because tier 3 lasts a long time and you are right at the beginning. So if you wanted to change, now would be the time.
Yo, how come nobody told me when I started that Gunslinger glow's gonna be that bad? Come on, man.
At least you don't play.
Okay. It is not as bad as you guys. Okay, it's
pretty bad.
Okay,
it's
listen,
bad.
no. Reaper
bad.
is way worse. I don't believe you. Reaper is exponentially
Okay, just because
worse.
Reaper is bad doesn't
Okay,
make.
I'm just saying, but it's
Gunslingers
not
that
like
much
it's the
better.
worst fucking thing in the world. Reaper is like, at least it's got a little glow. You pull it out forward so you can see it. Reaper is on the back. I think it's not as the shotgun sniper. It's not too bad. Okay, like I feel like Reaper is worse.
I mean, Summoner Swords is just like you need a sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best glows are the
Gunmaster,
fighters,
dude.
though. The fighters have the
Yeah,
best glows in the game,
fighters.
because when you face the camera, you see the glows on their sides. Something like a Berserker or a Sorceress, the glows on their back, so it's a little
Yeah.
obscured. But fighters, best glows. Striker, War Dancer, Scrapper, and even Arcana, kinda. Even though she's basically
Arcana's
half
good
of what a
too.
War Dancer is.
I got that electric shock. I don't know. I wish I just knew about this before I started, because holy crap! Let me refill my guns.
Yeah, if you're listening in and you're like, oh, look, let's listen to this whale talk. you are going to eventually be 20 plus on your character, and then you will care about this stuff a little bit. As far as anyone who cares about aesthetic specifically,
You all have the glow for sure.
it'll happen eventually.
What about you, Benji?
Mm.
Because you were about to meta swap a little bit. I remember you were. I was at your stream. I'm in everyone's stream, by the way. I always say this, but I see all. Okay, I am the Twitch frog. I see fucking all. I have 30 tabs open, dude. I was in your stream and you said if they don't buff Destroyer, I'm done with this. I'm switching to Lance Master, right? That's what you said. And
Yep.
and I remember someone also asked you, how come X isn't your main, or because I didn't get lucky on that class. I didn't that's why it's not my main, because I didn't get lucky on it. So you were about to switch to Lance Master. You had one set up. Talk about, do you think this is a game for people that like to FOTM rollers, meta Andes? Is this a game for those types of players?
The meta shifts like that. Like one day you see like a content on YouTube or Twitch or whatever, and you see this one class doing huge damage, and then like everyone's like, instantly the auction house prices they respond like instantly. The prices go up, the engraving prices go up, the accessories go up, like. So yeah, I don't think it's friendly to shift. I mean, to chase metas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look at the scrappers ranking. Like the top 10 was all TIE fighters with touches or whatever, and then now top 6
They're
all
all
shock.
shocked.
Yeah.
It's like that
That's
one video, one
Yeah.
Hanamatan, and everyone's like, "What?"
Yeah.
With the
What?
with the
Let me try
counter,
this
right?
out. And they have the money to try it out too when you're at that level, you know.
How about you, ATK? You have 20 classes. You release
Yeah.
a video every day of doing a vault and bus. Have
Uh,
you? What is your experience with re-rolling? And
So
for somebody listening, is this the game for them if they want to
so
FOTM
I think
roll?
I think the true way to do it is I think you should play. So you guys said play what you want though, right? So let me give you an example. Gunlancer, blue is better than red for sure in terms of statistics, how easy it is to play, how you gonna perform in the raid, etc. So blue is definitely the meta build, right? I just swapped blue to red before the PTR because it was like a little cheaper, and I was like, you know what? I actually want to play red. That's literally I said. And when I was switching from blue to red, picking all the accessories and stuff, I think I've answered at least 100 times. People saying, "Why are you switching from blue to red, man? I heard red sucks." Right? It's like I heard people say red sucks, and I'm like, yeah, I just wanted to play it, man. I just wanted to play, and I played it. I bought all the tripod gears, whatever. And the PTR happened. I sold it twice. I sold it twice the money, so I got everything back.
Wow.
Right? So I didn't need to follow the meta. I just say, oh yeah, I'm just gonna play this because I think it's fun. And after I switched it, I think it was at least 20 times more fun than blue. Because blue, I just like falling asleep doing the raid. I just fall asleep. I just press the buttons, and the dude's dead. Just press the buttons on the Guardian raid, right? And then red, I actually have to move around. And when you do your big burst, when the bard gives you all the bursts, you see the big numbers. Now that's fun, right? So that has nothing to do with the meta change. But people kept asking me, has the meta changed for you to go from blue to red? And I just kept telling them, I just wanted to play red. Like, you guys are not believing me, they were not believing me at all. And then after the PTR changed too, right? And they go like, oh. And so some of them were joking as if like I had some inside notes, that red's gonna get buffed or something. And then I was like, man, nah, dude, I just wanted to play red.
Dude, I was doing like Chaos Dungeon on my Sorceress. I have a separate like reflux build just for Chaos Dungeon.
Yeah.
People were coming into my stream. They were like, "Could you
What
use
is
Chaos
that?
Dungeon?" I'm like, no,
Twitch chat
dude.
is like that. Dude, I fish. I'm just fishing. They're like, "Why are you fishing? Why? Why? Why?" I'm like, dude, whoa!
This fish going up.
I'm just fishing, man. Like, relax. And I do a chaos dungeon in a group. They're like, "Why you do that? Why? Did you get more
Why?
loot?
Why?
Is there something I don't know about?" I'm like, I
Get
could just
interrogated.
AFK. Like, I just want to AFK, man. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Same for DPS artists. I switched to support, and I told them, I mean, I can't get party for DPS artists, and then they were like, why? You know.
I saw your video of doing a Vulpin on. I bring that up a lot because I've been watching your series.
Oh, the DPS artists.
I actually have been enjoying. You've been grinding your ass off, man. A little side note: you are a machine, dude. I actually think it's super impressive, man. You're doing so good on the YouTube grind, dude.
I thought you guys were doing it every day too.
Zeals was doing it. It's exhausting, man. It's exhausting, and
it gets a little tiring sometimes.
It's exhausting, and you're doing it, man. It's super commendable.
There's just so much to do.
No,
I think it's fun.
It's great. You're getting the info out there that people appreciate. We need more of that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later. We're gonna talk more about that a little bit later, actually. But with that being said, I want to use the restroom. I've been holding this in. This is a great time to take like a little minute. We're a little bit over halfway done, so a couple more topics, and then we're out of here.
Oh, great! More time.
So I'm gonna use the restroom.
Having fun.
If you guys want to use the restroom, have at it. Yeah. All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Chat, welcome back.
Did you wash your hands?
Of course I did. Chat, welcome back. Say hello to the YouTube frogs. We are back. Just had to go to the quick bathroom there and, clean up really quickly. So, let's talk about stuff other than classes. Although it does pertain to classes because, well, there's complaining going on about certain specs, certain classes. We're talking about Soulfist and whatever, right? Certain classes not getting addressed. People getting upset in the forums. OHBENJI goes on Inven. You motherfuckers, right?
Yeah.
Every time I stream, there's always somebody saying, NA always complains. NA's always unhappy. The West is always unhappy, right? And I want to talk about that, right? I want to talk about the complaining meta in the NA in Western Lost Ark versus Korea. The NA complaint culture. And from what I've gathered from a lot of my friends that play on KR and stuff like that, and a lot of my viewers, they complain all the time, right? They're complaining all the time. And this is just my take, and I'll go through each one of you. We'll start with you, Zeals. But for me, at least, it always feels like, because a lot of the viewers, they don't even speak Korean, right? They can't even read what the hell these forums are saying. They don't go on Inven. They can't understand what's going on. They're using Google Translate. They don't know if they're complaining or not. It's just the popular thing. And I'm not defending NA. I'm just being fucking real. Like, to assume that gamers aren't on the forums probably pissed off and angry about class changes and saying you're ruining the game, that shit happens, right? But what is your take on it, Zeals? Do you think NA has a severe complaint culture, which I think it does, but... Or do you think it's just the gaming culture in general? Is it to complain?
I think it's just people thing, like just some people love to complain. Yeah, like yesterday we had a person complain about the Fever event. The login bonus.
Mm-hmm.
How the rewards are weak. I'm like, what? Like, damn, man. Like you like scrapping for something, but in my opinion, man, everyone complains. It doesn't matter about region or gamer or not, dude. Just people like to complain. It just, I don't know. Some people, like my chat, they're just tired of it. Like, okay, you want to complain for 5 minutes? Okay, but like 50 minutes of complaining? No,
it's
thanks.
Annoying.
Right? Yeah.
I agree.
So, yeah. I think we just have short bursts, but overall, everyone complains. Sometimes it's the easiest thing to do. I do it too. It's easy.
Mm-hmm. Saint, what about you? Because you've been playing on Korea. You've been on NA. What is your thoughts on it? Do you feel like you're noticing more of it here, or?
I mean, it's true that the only reason why Western players don't see Korean players complaining is that you literally can't read Korean. Korean players do complain a ton. Whether you look at like Inven or DC Inside or something, it's full of complaints constantly. And yes, I would say that in the West, do complain about certain things that maybe some Korean players don't complain about. But like, first of all, it's good to be outspoken. You should. If there's a change that needs to be made to fit your game, your version of the game, you should be outspoken of it. Of course, some people are a bit more extreme with it, and they kind of sound ridiculous while they say it. But it's better than keeping silent, because I'm going to be very blunt here. I don't think people at Amazon actually know anything about Lost Ark, like anything detailed. And so if they are the people that are relaying our thoughts to Smilegate, then they are relying on the posts that people are making on things like the forums, as much as we laugh at it, and like the Reddit, to get the information to Smilegate of what players want. That's the job of a publisher. It's not their job to know the game in depth. It's their job to relay information to Smilegate. So of course complaining is good, but I mean, do it in moderation. Some people just sound outright ridiculous about some of the things that they complain about. But yes, be outspoken, because I mean, that's probably the reason why Lance Master is the next class coming out, and it's because people spoke their mind.
I actually say that a lot. Like, I don't, you know, how Amazon's been even with the Argos release, like how it was altered and perfectly made so that they were just short of. I'm like, dude, you think Amazon really knows what the fuck they're doing there? They don't know what build they have. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to release the goddamn patch notes. I don't think they know.
Like even before the game, they're like,
game.
even before the game, they're like, founder skin's gonna be bound.
Yeah,
like
and then people are selling those fucking things, man. It's crazy, dude. Holy shit.
That is crazy.
I remember that. They said they were supposed to be bound, and then people are putting them on the auction house, selling them for 200,000 gold. It's like, what? I didn't even try trading them because I thought they couldn't be traded. So I put that thing on instantly. Had I known, I would have sold it. Right? I'm so mad about that. But what anyways, what do you think about it, Benji? Do you think because you know, I know you put out a video, you heard the Argos complaints, and you made a video, the unpopular opinion about the situation and things like that. Do you think be honest, as my chat would say? Do you think NA complains too much? You're a Korean player. You don't play in the NA version. Do they complain too much?
I understand the frustration, like, because there's a KR version, and people will compare the KR version to the version they're playing, and they'll see all these skins, classes, content, and I understand the frustration. I understand the complaints, like. Some of the complaints are kind of ridiculous, like some of you guys said, but I understand some of the complaints. But at the same time, it's like 3 years worth of content for KR, and it's gonna take time for NA to catch up. Like, and it's been out for a little over 2 months now.
Yeah, about
in the Western version.
Yeah, over 2 months.
Right. Yeah. So I think it's just gonna take time, but I have a feeling that Smilegate and Amazon have big plans for the summer for all these new contents, because that's when people have time to play games. That's how Smilegate usually does things. Like, they release big content for the summer and winter when people on their breaks and stuff. So
yeah, I
hate saying just wait, but give it a little time until summer.
It's just wait Ark, baby.
It's just around the corner. They're gonna have bikini skins for you for the summer, so just and panties. So just give it a little time.
Yeah,
I like how that's the motive to get people to stay.
Yeah, wait for the bikinis. But I do say it as a joke. I hope they don't censor it though.
Oh yeah, the thing is, I wonder how they're gonna do Vicus.
You son of a bitch. There was a bingo card that somebody made. I'm like, there's no way anyone's gonna talk about fucking censoring. And you randomly brought up censoring. Holy shit, ATK. I was like, there's no way anyone's gonna make this goddamn bingo card. I can't believe that's on there. Okay,
I mean, it's important though.
No.
It's the most important thing ever.
Have at it.
No, but I mean, let me answer the
the
complaint question first, because you know that's the thing, right? So complaining is good, right? Because if no one's complaining, the game will be dead, right? if they were just had it with the game, they would just not complain at all. However, there's two types of complaints. There's a complaint where you actually care about the game, or you complain because you're actually looking into an excuse that you actually are bad at the game. It's a class meta thing. As in, why does my class suck? But the thing is, they gotta look into themselves if they're actually good at the game mechanically, right? And most of the time, it's the second point. And someone needs to tell them that. And at the same time, like when you see the Korean complaints, I think they have the rights to complain because they spent thousands of gold, thousands of hours on their character, and just to see it like nerfed to the obliterates, right? And in the same case for NA though, when the game is out for 2 months, I think I've seen so many games that were not doing anything for like 6 months, 7 months, like even 9 months, right? Compared to that, I think they're just doing a good job. So like the complaining is good, but maybe turn it more into a complaint that makes sense, you know, instead of just saying, yeah, just because you failed your honing, you don't complain on forums. Because you're just unlucky, right? You just can't complain like every time about honing, which is like not getting those rights. That's about it. But complaining is good in general because it gives feedback.
I have my own take with it, but mostly I want to share that outside of the, like Saint said, outside of the weird, there's just weird people, like, you know what I mean? People that will come my offline chat that will say Lost Ark is trash when I'm not even streaming. I like gone and there's a guy in my chat saying, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here, man? Like, what the hell are you doing in my chat? Are you crazy as hell? Like, you have anything better to do with your time? Like, why are you in my chat? I'm not even fucking stream, right? That's just weird as hell. You know what I'm saying? But like, outside of that, I will say, you know what? The one thing I think that from the Western region that's justified, Amazon, I'll be blunt, they suck with like, they're communicating a lot, but they're not concrete on anything. And I think that's where so much of the frustration comes from. And so what I'm going to share with is my experience coming into the game, okay? And I think this is fair. The game, we were expecting a beta to come out in like the fall, I think, right? Or summer, right? And it was like pushed so far along that we didn't know when the beta date was coming. And then it was like, we were just like, I remember like we were all, I was inhaling copium with my friends. Like, oh, it's, you know, it's technically like September 13th is still summer. I don't know what I was saying. I was like trying to, then it was delayed, right? Then like the release date, we didn't know for a long time. And I remember sitting there at, this Gamescom, waiting for an announcement for the game, right? That takes forever to come out, you know? And then we're waiting for, then the Argos is like the next day it's coming out, right? But then it was somehow, well, we planned it a month before, right? Then the roadmap, by the way, I fucking told you that I would put the podcast out the next morning the roadmap would get released. It's like the Madden curse. It happened, right? But then the roadmap, like we don't know. And then even the roadmap is not concrete, right? It's very loosey, like we don't know, which is, I respect the like wanting to make sure it doesn't feel paid away. You know what? I respect that. But it's still like, what the fuck's going on, right? I don't know dates on anything. Then the Lance Master release is another one where it's like, nobody really knows the date, and then we're asking for fucking dates. And so my whole point is I feel like if I'm part of the community, I would be really annoyed. And I know that in KR, you know, you guys don't know of things till the launch of or whatever, or like the day of, or the notes come out. Dude, fucking NA in the West, they don't want that shit. They want to plan out their time. They want to know when things are coming. They want to plan out like, hey, how many materials do I need? Can I take work off that day? When is the class going to come out? Etc. Like, that's what players want, right? They want a little bit of a notice on what's going on. And I feel like Amazon does a lot of communicating, like Rox is super active, but it's always never concrete in their plans. And they always say things like it's changing in real fucking time. But like, I've never had a game where like shit's always changing in real time. Like, how does it change so much? Like, how are plans always changing for release dates, for betas, for launches, for class releases, for raid days? And so I feel like if I'm going to complain about anything, that is my built up frustration with them, is that like whatever is lacking in that department that allows them to not give us dates or plans or follow through on what they say they're going to do, or just communicate actual. Does that, am I out of line with saying any of that, or?
I
No,
think a little bit you
no.
are.
Okay.
Yeah, because as I literally just ragged on Amazon a second ago for not knowing the game, but at
Sure.
the same time, you know, I've worked in publishing before.
Sure.
Years ago I worked at Nexon, and so I'm familiar with the whole like
Ooh.
publisher developer relationship. This is not Amazon's game, and whenever they get patch notes and shit like that from like they get them from Smilegate, which then has to be localized and then copy edited and then uploaded. We can't place all of the blame on Amazon because they're just a proxy for us to Smilegate.
Oh, no.
And I think
I'm not, well, I want to be clear.
Yeah.
I don't care who, I'm not saying it's both of them. Like whatever is
of course.
that communication
Right.
is my point. Okay. Just want to be very clear.
And you have people at Amazon that are probably working, and in order for them to get anything that they can put out, they have to communicate with Smilegate, who is in Korea. And so the only time that they can actually really reasonably communicate with them is at the end of their workday, when Smilegate is entering their offices for the beginning of their workday. So now there's kind of a time zone issue as well, unlike other games like Final Fantasy, where everything's taking place in like one place and then, you know, self-published in many regards. So I think what we should strive for is really urging Amazon to improve the way that their workflow with Smilegate, so that we can get things like more concrete information ahead of time, because I felt like it was kind of evident that maybe the work relationship between Amazon and Smilegate might not be the most conducive. And we saw it even with the way that Gold River carried himself
Right.
during the Crown Channel. It didn't feel like he was, you know, working like with Amazon, like with the way that the naming convention of the classes and stuff like that. So I would just really like to see Amazon try to improve on that a bit, because if everything needs to go through Smilegate in order for us to get information, then they need to work that out just a little bit better, and maybe Smilegate needs to be a bit more definitive with their intentions on how they want to release stuff in the West, even if they're changing stuff constantly.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I feel like I don't think I'm being, well, I just, what I'm reiterating is I feel like I understand frustration, because it just coming from another game, whatever at the end of the day, I still feel like as the consumer, right? Taking myself out of being someone that's like trying to be understanding, I don't give a shit why things are delayed, right? Like I don't ask like the guy that serves my fucking burger, like, oh, like, well, there's a lack of communication between me and the chef, and you know he's just taking a
burger. Yeah.
Just give me my fucking burger, man. Like I'm waiting a goddamn long time for this shit. Like serving my motherfucking food, right? Like I paid for it, right? Like this game's free to play, but you get the whole point, right? So like that's what I'm at with it. Like I don't care if it's Amazon or whoever's fault it is, but they're clearly. How many times am I going to be like completely understanding with like delays and times? And as a player or someone that makes videos and streams, I'm the fucking shill for the game. So like, I am going to be understanding, but I do understand the frustration, because it's come on, dude. Like they got to figure that out. I agree with you, but maybe I'm a little bit more annoyed than you are, you know?
I understand. That's how every single game or any product that goes overseas works. It just takes longer. You know, let's say the feedback goes, Mr. Whatever, tested the email. They have to have a meeting with that email. They read the email. Oh, let's have a meeting about this email. And then let's have this another meeting. That's like 3 days already. Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes most companies do one meeting a week, right? So, let's talk about this next week. And then, you know, you have another 7 days for you guys to wait. That's how it usually works. At least for most companies.
Sorry.
No, go for it.
Yeah. I think they're still trying to figure out the skill names for Lance Master or Glaivier. The localization. Like, how would you translate Glaivier's Korean skill names to English?
That too. Climax.
Well, climax, but like
Self-controlled.
What were they
Yeah,
on?
but
What were they on
that
Russia
that
with the
the
thing?
rust skill. How would you
Yeah.
translate that?
They're pretty weird, but I mean they finagled it for Russian. I'm sure they could figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Super
true.
super thrust.
Okay, well, outside of my rant about the communication and lacking concreteness thing,
Yeah.
let's talk about the Ark Pass drama. Zeals, I mean, I know you
What's
said.
up?
What do you think about?
Dude.
Do you want to break it down for you, or you want
That's
to? You want
great.
is that enough?
I'm gonna be honest, man. Like I don't even know what this drama's about. Nobody brings up Ark packs in my stream.
I didn't know there was drama surrounding it.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
everywhere. It's everywhere.
Not me either. Someone
Yeah.
asked that like someone
for-
someone asked me like
Mhm.
what does the Ark Pass give, and I just showed them like this is what we had, and this is the latest one we had, and that was it.
Like
I know
why?
there was a video
Why
from
even?
Saiwo, but I
Why
didn't
That
even,
made a
like,
great video. I thought his video was really good. I liked it.
But the thing is, like, do you really think we're gonna get the same Ark pack?
No.
I
Exactly.
don't think so.
Exactly. So can't really bitch about something I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say
decent
same,
though
maybe
for
like
us, yeah.
maybe they could get more. I mean, it depends because it's based on the patch. Like the Arc Pass was based on what we had in Korea, as in the what average eye level where people were, because you balance the rewards based on that, right? NA is a lot different in terms of like how many people who are in 1370 or how many people who are in 1415 and stuff. It's just that sometimes the dumbest thing I've seen was how come we don't get Hyper Express? I'm like, dude, your game's been out for 2 months. You want Hyper Express already? What the hell's wrong with you, man?
They just hear about like these. They just hear about these terms and they just like. It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't this whole battle pass thing like it started from this video and he found this pass logo from a PvP video,
Yeah,
right? That's what started the whole
Yeah.
so
That's what I heard.
But a lot of people comment that the Arc Pass or like battle passes in general and are generally like pretty accepted in the West. A lot of gamers do them, and honestly, the value of the Arc Pass is pretty good. The free
it's
pass
always
is
been good.
obviously free, and then if you look at the $50 path, the costume and the blue crystals, like their value
Kinda
equate to
yeah.
$50, but then you get the wallpaper and you get the $20 path
Correct.
included in it as well. So like I
Right.
would have thought that people would have been like, okay, yeah, this is really fair, and it lasts for 3 months, takes about a month to complete. That's pretty good.
To be
I was really surprised to hear that people are off put by that. Are they?
Yeah.
to be fair, that I was the one that said that we should get it because I said if I could draw up my dream roadmap, give people Hyper Express and don't delay Vaulton and just get, because I still think that's what they should do. I don't think they should delay any content. I think you should just rip people free fucking mats, juice them the fuck up. Because dude, no one wants to be doing what we're doing right now, right? There's a reason why fucking you and Zeals and Saint aren't playing on fucking NA, right? Like you guys, you do, but like you know what I mean. Like people want to do the fucking raids, right? So I think get people there by giving them mats, and Hyper Express would be a way to get people the vault in without delaying it. To your point, what I said was also that the package is just a deal for. But then when I said the words deal, see, deal is what people didn't like with the Ark Pass. You can't call anything a deal in Lost Ark. Because it's that's what they said, quotes. I said, well, if you want the skins, right, and then you get the mid track, you know, it's a deal because it's, and they're like, oh, deal. Well, it's all, they price everything, so it's not a deal. That's where a lot of the drama is coming from, though. They're upset that there's two types of them: super premium and then the middle track.
Super.
Because they're not looking at the other tier, the first tier. Why people don't look at the first tier? Which is free.
It's because super premium feels very aggressive. I think they
It's
chose
super
the word wrong.
trash.
Yeah, exactly.
You,
They
you
could've
literally
just
only
called
buy
it-
it if you want
The
a
skin, the
wallpaper.
wallpaper.
Yeah,
Wallpaper
yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
They should
As
call
soon
it
as I
super
bought it,
trash.
I made a video about this. Yeah, like I bought this a few months ago, and I mean, the day it was out, I was like, I bought it for the video purposes, and I was like, what? That's it? The wallpaper, dude. I was like,
Yeah, the hallway.
The April one
Yeah,
is as
it's
good. No, the
ass,
Japan one is
man.
better. The Japan one,
Yeah.
the
First battle pass
Yeah.
was
wait,
okay.
besides,
I
you
like
get
that
the
one.
mount for free,
Yeah,
right?
the mount. Yep.
the mount's good,
Yeah.
and you get the what skin was that? What was it for? I like that skin setup actually, the female and the male one.
You don't actually have to buy the battle pass to get the
You
skin
buy
is
it
the thing.
separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can buy
cons-
completely
you can buy it
separate.
separate too.
Yeah.
I said that too, and people were, dude, people were really mad. I mean, I get all of it, dude. You know what I mean? I get all of the Andes. I'm always arguing,
Yeah.
and so
I mean, people get mad if they don't know. Right?
But the crazy part about the whole thing is literally there was just a video of Sci-Fi, is his name correct?
Mm-hmm.
Doing a PvP guide, and all there is an Ark Pass logo. That's the only thing that's shown. And then there's like fucking just everything unveiling, right? Like all of these conspiracy theories, what's coming,
Yeah.
what is the Ark Pass? Holy shit, this is pay to win. And I will say, I did watch the Aspen video, and he said, well, if they want to fucking ruin the game, you know, like his example is, I'll just go play something, you know, another game. And I'm like, damn, man, this shit's blowing up for like not even actually coming out yet, right? Like, with that, do you guys think we're getting the Ark Pass in this update? Saint? If you had a just gentleman's bet, guess.
In this update,
Mhm.
God, that's a coin flip. Hold on, let me Google coin flip.
Nice. That is the right way to do it, especially
Yes,
stones too.
it flipped heads, so I'm gonna say yes.
I think it's coming as well. Zeals, you don't think so?
I mean, like the way I see things is just like the Amazonians, right? I don't, we like you said, man. Dude, how long we wait for the beta date?
Dude, you get what I'm saying?
You
It's-
know the struggle, man. I was streaming to like 50, 200 people, and everyone's like, "When's beta? When's beta? When's beta?" Every day for 3 months. When's beta? When's release?
Oh yeah, the beta is long, huh? It was long.
But
Yeah.
It's pent up frustration, man. I agree.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting there, and when I found out the game was to come out for another 6 months, I died inside. I'm like, dude, 6 more months of this.
I asked chat yesterday, like, when do you think they're gonna announce like a trailer for Last Master, like new skins, the events coming for Thursday? And then they told me that the Amazonians are on break. I'm like, what break? Easter holiday. I'm like, what the fuck? They're always on break, man.
So happens, man.
When do
That's
they
what
work?
I'm sure
Dude,
they're
every time you say Amazonians, I'm thinking of like some tribesmen are running the
I think
game
of-
in the West.
I think of Tarzan. I don't know why. I think of Tarzan for some reason. Every time you say Amazonian, I just think of Tarzan for some. I'm not sure why.
I mean, real
but-
work day is Wednesday and Thursday.
So
Yeah.
I just want the trailer, like stuff like that. Like if Ark Pass is coming, that'd be great. Because at this point, like it's like saying I just do coin toss because I'm not gonna say Last Master is coming because people get so excited. They're like, oh my god, I'm taking my day off. Preparing for this. I'm like, guys, like just there's a possibility that it might not happen, and people don't want to accept that. You know what I mean? Like they think that everything is guaranteed. Like they go ask out a girl and they think it's 100% yes. But they gotta
Yeah.
they gotta lower it so that they don't
Lower
get
the
disappointed.
expectations.
Yeah.
Benji, what are your thoughts?
Lowering
on
your
the,
expectations better.
what are your thoughts on the Ark Pass, Benji?
Ark Pass?
Do you
with
buy?
the whole-
Do you buy the Ark Pass?
I did. It was a good deal.
Yeah. Don't say the word deal. Say something else. Okay, so you like the Ark Pass? Tell us about it, and what do you think about it?
Basically, I got a bunch of mats. There's a free version, and I could have just bought the skin, but I just bought the whole thing because I got double the mats, and then I never had a wallpaper. I never bought any wallpaper, so it was like I bought it for the first time. I was like, maybe it's time I need to get a new wallpaper.
What? You have 25 weapon. You've never bought a wallpaper before?
I was like, yeah,
You're
I was
hooked now.
completely free to play. until I started streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, after I started streaming, I started like swiping a little bit.
That's how it starts.
That's how it starts.
Yeah, that's
what
how- yeah,
the
yeah.
forums say.
Yeah,
You-
Twitch ruined
What
them.
does the forum say? The forums say you play long enough to you quit before you play free to play until you quit, or like you play long enough to see yourself as a whale. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's like some weird, like, I don't know. I read it on the forums. I need to get off the forums. Wow, I cannot believe that, man. I'm mind blown. You never bought a wallpaper before.
No,
Wow. I'm a sucker for
I was-
skins.
I always feel bad
Yeah.
about the wallpapers because like that is actually something that you cannot get after they sell it.
True.
Costumes they chuck in the auction house, so it's like you could always get it back later. But like there's a couple wallpapers back from 2018 that I didn't buy back then because I didn't want to, and every time I look through the catalog, I'm like kind of regretful. It's such a dumb like aesthetics reason, but at the same time, you know, it's I guess that's like a FOMO thing a little bit.
Oh yeah, because they're limited. I mean, I saw. You know what got me into wallpaper was your collection. Actually, when I first started playing the game, you had the most insane collection of wallpapers, and that's what got me into it. It's actually, here's the quote: "You either quit as free to play, or play long enough to be a whale." I don't know. That's the quote I was referencing.
Yeah,
I
these
mean,
wallpapers don't
even-
even affect your gameplay at all.
Yeah.
Go on.
But the best one, honestly, it's pay to win, right? Best wallpaper. Summer one.
That
Oh.
one's good. That one's
The
really
one.
good. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, a couple more topics here. We're almost done, guys. Okay. I wanted to talk about the G4 tournament. Insane turnout, Saint. Right?
Hmm.
Now, drops
Yeah.
are obviously, everyone, people were quoting me because I said PvP is bad content, which I think it, I won't say it is because it upsets people. But the drops, let's put those aside. Still a really good turnout, right? And I had so much fun watching it. A lot of people that hadn't gotten to Lost Ark before tuned in for it. It did way better than the Royal Roaders, right? The Royal Roaders tournament.
So
gets-
much better. And I feel so bad about that because I thought the production quality of Royal Roaders was amazing. Like actual esports level production, and like 1,500 people tuned in for it, maybe a little bit more for the finals, and it's really unfortunate, really. But it was really cool seeing the turnout on the Western side. But yeah, drops definitely had a lot to do with it.
Yeah. But I feel like beyond that, the turnout was great. It showed, for me, like Amazon backing it with the drops and things like that has a huge impact, right, in the game overall. Do you think we're going to see more? There's a copy pasta in my chat, so there's a guy, whatever. If you want to read that, though, you read that one, Say.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. Do you think we're going to see more of those things in the future? Do you think we're going to see more from Amazon Saint regarding these types of like events, community run things, supported drop events for Lost Ark in general in the future? Because it did so well, I think.
I don't know if we'll necessarily see like self-initiative because this was technically produced by G4 in partnership with Amazon.
Right.
So I think if we wanted to see more types of competitions for stuff like that, whether it's PvP or maybe Hell Mode comes out and someone organizes something for like first to clear it, that kind of thing. If we're gonna see anything like that, I think it's mostly grassroots kind of movements. Just like how there's tons of PvP tournaments with pretty good cash prizes that are happening all the time, but there's not a whole lot of visibility on them. So I think it's definitely possible that we see more, but I don't know how much of it will be self-started by Amazon themselves.
Yeah. What do you think about the tournament turnout, ATK? I know you're probably not the biggest into PP. Did you know it was going on? Were you aware of it? Did you check it out?
Well, I kind of saw it, and I heard Saint won, right? You won, right?
Saint did
Yep.
win.
Yeah. That's all I know.
What about you?
If you look at my profile, I've never done PvP.
Ever?
So yeah, ever. I've never did PvP
No
ever.
weekly cap for.
No.
Wow, I guess it's lost value.
So
in
whenever
that
they ask
sense.
about PvP, when people ask me about PvP, like I just can't answer it. I've never done it.
Benji.
Yeah, congrats, Saint. I heard you won.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Yeah, see?
Recurring trend here. I mean, I think actually all 5 of us are PVE mains.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I follow the PvP probably a little bit as much as you say. I probably look around. I'm interested in it, right? I think it's obviously I came into the game for PvP, ended up playing it for PvE, but I think Lost Ark PvP is really fun. And I will say, dude, at the end of the day, like, I don't know, man. Like, that tournament was a fucking fun time. I did not think it would do anywhere near that well. And there were a lot of people that were super into the games.
Yeah, I think a lot of it though. First of all, the staff working on it, unbelievably talented.
Yep.
Whether it was Avali, Cannon, he did spectacular commentating on that, and Captain Flowers doesn't even play the game, and he knocked it out of the park with his commentary. That guy has to be one of the most talented commentators for live events I've ever seen. But I think that helped so much with keeping people vested into the matches, and overall G4 they did a really good job with setting up that tournament. Even on the inside where they were setting us up for things like the matches and the interviews and everything leading up to it. You know, I was really impressed with the way they set it up.
Did you catch it
Dude.
at all, Zeals?
I was sleeping, man. I had a good nap. But I did like that. The reason I slept was because I didn't expect anything, right? But damn, man, it blew me away. I was like, I mean, I think, like, you know, what I saw, I watched it, and like, yeah, like the whole crew was really well done. The whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
people were really excited. That's amazing. I would love to see the Amazonians get involved with more stuff like this. I'm not necessarily too fond of drops, but hey, if it gets the community happy and the Amazonians happy, stuff like that, I wish they did more of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
More events outside of the game as well, but more in stuff in the game, but outside would be nice.
Mm-hmm. 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 I mean, you see it with I mean, you just fucking dude was eating chicken a second ago, right? Mom's touch, like those types of like collabs I think are really cool for the game. Like, dude, I don't know if you guys listening right now know, but like there was a video, there's like a 3-hour documentary, 3-hour and 30-minute documentary in Korea, but like in Korean, where it's like just shows you the history of Lost Ark, but like you don't even have to be able to be able to read at all. You can just watch, it's like pictures, and they just show you all of the collabs and commercials that they've done. It's really fucking cool, right? Like those types of things. So I think that, you know, these tournaments, these community run things, and we're gonna talk about that after this next topic, just 'cause I think it ties in better. But I think these are really important for the game. I think it's really cool to see them, and I think it gets players excited about their game, like the Makoko figures, the merch store, drops. It's just an example of things like that, right? Like these collabs, I think people really do. They do like it. You know what I mean? I mean, how many of you guys tried to go buy try to get something from the merch store before it sold out? How many of you guys were waiting in line?
I didn't. Me and my entire guild couldn't get a thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Me too. I didn't get.
You all
anything.
tried though, right?
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried.
So
Not a lot of stuff to sell, I
I have
guess.
to buy a $50 wine just to get that mood lamp.
Nice.
Can you show that? Can you show? Can
Yeah,
we,
sure,
can we,
sure,
Can we
hold on.
see it? Like to see it.
That's a real Chad right there.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, that's unique. It's there. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's sick.
So this was Benji. How'd you get this?
So I made a reservation on an application that they were doing collaboration with. And I saw this and I was like, all right, I'm getting it. And then I had to buy a wine and a wine glass with it. It was like $50. I made a reservation and then they called me and I had to go to a convenience store. It was like a 30-minute drive. I went. Someone else took my wine So I stayed in the convenience store for about 8 hours, waiting for that guy to bring it back. And yeah, it was a quest. It was a RRL Lost Ark quest. and, and I
It's a true,
and I got it.
real Una quest.
Yeah,
Wow.
I got it.
That's cool.
And it's now that I look at it, like paying $50 for this, Lost Ark is not pay to win, guys.
somebody in chat said, Benji, you were free to play, bruh. Like actually that you got
free to play.
Yeah.
Dude, the merch store, man, that shit makes me so mad though.
Hard to get, right?
Yeah. It's, I don't even want the.
It makes me
Dude,
value.
the
It makes
app
me
was
value.
crashing.
This thing makes me value way more because somebody sent me this.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
look
just
how
want the
sick
Nia
that is.
figure. I just want the Nia and Nina figure.
Nice. But yeah, the app was like frozen the whole time. Couldn't buy anything.
Anyway, my point was that like these collaborations, these types of things, seeing this stuff, seeing your game outside of the actual game itself, I think it goes a long way. You know what I mean? I think it gets players excited about the game, whether it be merch, tournaments, collabs, all of that stuff. I think it brings more life to the game, right?
Yeah.
With that,
That's definitely a newer thing, though.
said that again. Newer thing.
That's definitely like a newer thing that the director has said that they're gonna try more into, because you kind of need staff to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need, like the Smaug needs like more staff to like figure that out.
You guys mentioned earlier, and the turnout was great. 2 questions and we're out of here. The success of the game being 2 months in. I'm curious to hear what, in particular, ATK and Benji think, because you guys both play primarily in Korea. Saint and Zeals obviously do, but they also play on NA, right? I'm not very active on KR. For me, I feel like 2 months in, the game did way fucking better than I thought it was going to do. And even still, like the excitement it's hard to tell with these Steam numbers, right? Because there could be a lot of bots or whatever, right? You don't actually know. But Benji, what do you think as a player? How did the game 2 months, the launch, everything? How did the game turn out in your mind so far?
About 10 times better than expected. So, well, the first month at least. Right now, the game's kind of like slow, I guess, but I think it'll do better. I think the numbers will go up, especially around June when they start really making the communication and start releasing all these contents for the West. I think the numbers will pick back up. I have no doubt it'll be successful in the future, because right now, like even 3 years after, I have no doubt that Lost Ark will be successful for Korea as well in the future. Like I have, the reason why I play Lost Ark is because there's vision. Like they keep presenting us with these like new stuff to look forward to. And yeah, I think it's done better than I expected, and I think it'll go for a long time.
Benji, you've been around for as long as I have. You remember what our community was like when Argos was our end content? It was not great.
It was yeah. They made a crazy comeback,
They did, yeah. Because Argos was our end game in Korea for 4 months straight.
Before that, Alaric.
Yeah. It was rough, and people in our community, we didn't fully trust Smilegate. Even when they did Loa on that year, we were like, this is really ambitious. Can they actually do it? And then Vulcan came out, and then one update after another, and then they kind of...
I want to share my experience, just a small experience.
Sure,
like whenever I went to different channels for Adventure Islands and stuff, during those bad times, I saw the same people over and over again.
Oof.
Yeah, like the population was so bad. Like every time I went to do an event, it was the same person. I was seeing the same ID, same person over and over again. Like 2 channels at max.
Sounds like RU.
It was really bad. But now we get like 100 channels. I think it's saying, like, yeah, I think the game made a great comeback, and I think it'll make a great comeback in the summer too for the West.
What about you, TK? What are your thoughts on the launch of the game so far? The success of the game 2 months out?
So compared to Zane and Benji, I started a little later for Korea Lost Ark. I joined when HyperXpress
Me and you
came in for
started.
14,
We
15.
talked about this at Low On.
Yeah.
Me and you
Last year
started
summer.
started the same time.
Yeah. So that time it's basically it's no the game was dead, right? Because I played the game when it was open beta for Korea, and then I quit afterwards, right? Because like I quit when the raid skip coupon thing.
Yeah,
I
the
skipped.
drama with
Yeah,
that.
I quit. Yeah, I quit when that happened, right? And play something else for a long time, and then I liked the game itself. Like that's why I go, hey, maybe I should try it again. And then I came back, and they realized they are just doing a much better, right? So, I trust the developer a lot because I think he's one of the best developers, best director, from all the games that I've been playing, in the past. And he said he's trying, so like I know he's trying, but it's just that the things are not as it meant to be sometimes. So, considering the NA release, if you ask the question, I think it's good because it's only been 2 months, and then you guys have a lot of stuff. You guys got Argos, and if they're actually going to release Fountain on May, as they said on the roadmap, I mean that's a pretty good track to me because it's always has been based on statistics on how many players are in a certain eye level, and if majority of the players are in, let's say, in a Valton level, right? They want to bring more new players in. So let's say when Viakis or like Kokoseon comes out, right? They'll give more boost to help newer players to join in so that you can have more friends to play a certain raid with, right? That's how it worked in Korea. Because I just started and I was able to raid with my friends at the first week. And it will turn like that later.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was going to happen later too. As long as the director is still going to be the same, or unless something else is blocking on the way, right? But I don't think that would be the case either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Saint, what about you? Because I know you were. I'm sure me and you were both wondering how the game was going to do overall, and
Yeah.
mhm.
I mean, it definitely shattered expectations. I don't think we'll fully ever know how many of the accounts were bots. Obviously, a large amount were, but you can just see based off of activity on like Twitch, forums, Reddit, and stuff that there's still a lot of people that are playing the game. I don't know how retention will be long term. I would assume that if people make it to Vaulton and whatnot, then retention will be a lot better. I have a pretty bad cough, so you can skip me and
Sure. Go get it. Let it out. Zeals, I know you're laughing over there because they're giving you the Luigi Rich Campbell treatment. Hold it in.
No. It's like that. They have like the stupid Aya emo, the huge wall of text.
What do you think about it? I mean, because in general, like for a lot of us, right, playing the game, we knew it was really fun to play. Overall, I think like, yeah, we knew it was really fun to play. We didn't know how it was going to turn out, right? And what do you think about it?
Yo, it's a giant cock.
What?
Oh,
You could have hold it in.
Yeah,
Oh.
You could have
like
hold it in.
massive cock, dude.
Fuck, dude. Now I have to.
He could have hold
Holy
it in.
shit. Yo, it was so
It finally
good.
blew up.
Oh, sorry, but
I have to.
No,
I have
but-
to hide it because YouTube frogs. That's the problem.
But like expectations wise, yeah, of course, man. 10x, 50x. I was not expecting this crowd. Like I was thinking maybe if I get lucky, maybe I get like maybe 1,000 viewers on Twitch. Like
Mm-hmm.
people like
Yeah, that
wait
too.
for us to start streaming, right? That's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
And the
I've
community
always
is
thought that
so
was crazy.
supportive. Yeah, they're so
Mhm.
supportive of like they want like the Twitch scene, YouTube scene to like hold those numbers. They come to every day to show support. I
Hmm.
think the community is awesome. yeah, there are some guys that are negative doomers, but most people, they vent and they move on and they want to stay positive and hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the community kind of reflects Korea as well, as in like there are some diehard fans in development. So it's great to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No, I think that leads us into the next question. It's ironic because I said I'm gonna ban them all and I'll do a ban appeal, but ironic. I think the Lost Ark community is pretty good, right? I think the Lost Ark community, I think, is out of most games that I've played, is really good. Like, because most games that I've played, well, I will say the Twitch community is really good. I can't speak on the behalf of, because YouTube, YouTube isn't really a community. I know it sounds really weird to say, but like it's just anyone can click on your video, right? And it's like it's just your video just gets to everybody. You don't really have a YouTube community as much, right?
I feel like people just there for the info and then dip out. They don't They don't really care who you are.
Yeah, yeah. And whereas Twitch, it's different. Because I've played other games, dude, and like you don't get that type of like community over here, in other games. They're more like aware of stuff. They're like they're always like sharing news, showing up to different things, like supporting other people, mentioning other names, sharing videos, whatever. It's like it feels like very like I guess niche. And maybe not niche isn't the word. I don't know what I'm looking for. It feels very, I guess I'll say genuine is a good way of phrasing it. It feels like a very genuine community. Okay?
Yeah.
Whereas KR had that, and that's what made the game for a lot of you guys, right? Korea has a really good community for Lost Ark, and I feel like NA is still developing that.
Yeah.
What has been your experience so far with the Western audience? I'll start with you, Saint. I know you've been around for a while. What is your thoughts on like seeing it develop? Because I feel like more as people have been leaving, I've been noticing it more and more. I'm like, oh, I really fucking like the Lost Ark community. I mean, of course they were spamming Hydras in my chat for a little bit, but like outside of the Hydra dicks, like, what are your thoughts on it?
It is a really good community. I think quite a few of us streamed it when the English side of the community was significantly smaller. And it's mostly just inquiring minds. And then when the game launched, it became a lot of questions because people look to us for information so that they can get their bearing and footing in the game as well. And it's a bit less of that now. And so you get a lot more people that are just actually there to enjoy the day-to-day of playing the game and hanging out in a community. And it's been pretty good. I will say, great community, extremely degen, probably one of the most degen communities I've ever seen in any MMO. But that's not necessarily a bad thing.
What about you, Zeals?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was like 60,000 questions a day. Now people are they just need like somebody to like keep them sane, right? Like they just need like a figure to like keep them in line. But yeah, it's a very good community. And yeah, I thought that they wouldn't like Booba, but what the fuck? Like the amount of Boobas. Like I really thought this game would not do well because of the Boobas. I thought people were gonna write it off as a weeb, a Booba game. But dude, man, people want it more than I do. It's crazy.
Yeah, the
They're fucking hungry, man. Like they want that shit now. Like
they're hungry. They want that bikini skins.
I think that's why they're angry. They just don't have Booba. Give them the Booba,
man.
and then maybe they just like simmer down a little bit. I don't know.
Right?
Let it
That's
out
what I
a
thought too.
Speaking of which, aren't you guys scared that the next game may be that
it's gonna be the fire bat?
skin?
That's gonna be the fire bat chest one, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the erection or like the pirate.
It's not gonna be a good one.
Oh, people gonna be so pissed. Like, and we gotta deal with that. Like, we gotta deal with that. You know what I mean?
Dude, yeah, man. Okay, when Lance Master didn't come out that day, and I read that it wasn't coming out, I literally sat there for a second. I was like, holy fuck, the rest of my stream is about to suck balls. Like that's literally what I told myself.
Yeah.
When I read it, I'm like, fuck. Not because like it's not coming out for me, but like the rest of my stream is about to blow so much because it's gonna just influx of like angry people. I'm nervous about this next skin.
Yep.
You have those kind of streams, huh, Stoopzz?
Dude, you don't get that shit, man.
He sponges it for the rest of us.
Because
Because
I'm
there's
there in
a
the
live when
morning.
these news come out. By the
Thanks,
time
man.
the rest of us go live, everyone's already
You
settled
guys
down
don't
to
realize
Yeah,
that.
everyone's
I
settled
bring up
down.
this shit because I'm always the one that has to answer to all of the shit. Like, because it happens when I'm streaming. And so then I've gone through it all and I end stream and I hate my life, right? Like I hate my life for like a solid hour. And that's why your friend Europe says like, why is Stoopzz always drinking beer? My life's fucked up, dude. I'm having to answer the same goddamn question over and over again about something mad about like some change or something like that. And I lose my fucking cool sometimes, bro. It's hard as shit, dude. It's hard.
Yeah, answering the same question every minute.
It's despair,
Let's
dude.
say
It's despair.
You explain it for the next 10 minutes, and all of a sudden, after you're done, someone goes, "What did I miss?"
Yeah, dude. Can you say that again? Can you explain that one more
Can
time?
you say that again?
Yeah.
And
I
then
just
you
want a
explain it, the
Berserker Fury
same
to
guy
that.
goes, "Yep."
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
It's hard though. Yeah. It's
No.
hard to keep your composure. Yeah, it is.
It's hard. It's hard for me. I'm the
Mhm.
master of. I get one guide a lot. You know what I mean? It's part of the content.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one guy says something stupid, and it just drives me insane. But also, and sometimes, and also with that, it's like, you know, I do, but I do understand a lot of the frustration. That's why I mentioned that the stuff earlier. You know, I have to respond to a lot of it, and I am worried about the skins, and I'm worried about in general. You know, this update, what's coming, how they're gonna handle Vaulton and things like that. But maybe we can talk about the next time. Okay, I have like a couple quick ones and we can rattle them off. These are just things that the Discord asked that they want to know. You guys can take this away. Benji, you can start first. The is it Algacia update, right? The new No More Lie. Are you looking forward to that? What are your thoughts on that? Can you let anyone know? Can you let everyone know listening what that is?
Algacia is basically it's a new continent that they're going to implement probably within this month, according to them. But I won't be surprised if it's delayed a month. But anyways, it's supposed to be a new continent with a new city. Supposedly they took a very long time developing this continent. It's beautiful aesthetically, and the main thing is, I guess, like a story. I don't want to spoil anyone, but the story is supposed to take a huge turn. It's supposed to be like a whole new story starting from that continent. So I don't know, maybe there'll be some Easter eggs of like what's gonna come after the Legion bosses. Maybe.
Ooh, I did not think of that way.
Your Ark thing, Saint, was so good. Your
lore arc?
dude, it was so. I'm not even a lore Andy, and I loved it, dude. That was.
I just did it because I know that everyone presses G through the story, and you know a bunch of stuff's gonna happen in Korea soon. People are gonna be so confused on how we got here. Lore is it's pretty generic, but there's like it's not bad. You know, they don't have to like retcon shit all the time, and and I know why you're laughing.
Was that a shot or no? Is that just
It might have been. It might have been. I don't know. I think it's pretty good, and there's a lot of theories and tinfoil hats. So I mean, it can go in a lot of different ways. But that's very spoilery territory. So maybe some people care. I won't talk about it too much. But I think it'll be pretty cool. I think it'll be all right. I'm really interested in seeing where the story actually takes us, since it was pretty plain before.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about Lance Master coming out? I guess Zeals, you have the most. I think you're Lance Master. Maybe it's OHBENJI. I know you have a good. I don't know about you. ATK of everything. We'll start with you, Zeals. Lance Master coming out. What are your thoughts on the class? Right, recently got a buff. Players are probably pretty excited about it. would you recommend the class to anyone interested? Is it
Oh yeah,
recommended?
dude. Yeah, definitely. I think it's very user friendly, and the hype is unreal. Yeah, she beat out artists. So I think you know, I think a lot of people will enjoy her. Yeah, and she's also good in the what was it? We're getting the weekly Guardian, the challenge abyss and stuff like that. I think people will really like her, but I would love to see the Amazonian trailer though. What do you guys think about that? Like trailer? Because the reason why I like new classes in Korea is because of the trailers. And I always FOMO, man. Like Source trailer, they made her look so badass. Like she's to stop the new wave of legions and how powerful she is. And then we got the little Ayaya came out. And that was good trailer as well.
Mm.
Really want to see like the Amazonian version for last.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get one.
None of the regions do trailers as good as Korea does, though.
Yeah.
I saw all the same complaints with like the Russian trailers about how they were just like, oh, why can't you make a trailer as good as the ones in Korea and stuff like that? Or like even before the game came out in the West, I remember seeing a lot of people like, oh, Amazon, can you stop zooming in on the characters? Just show us the gameplay, that kind of stuff. Oh,
But I like
Yeah, I
that.
mean-
That's content. People complain is content, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Good
get
marketing.
we get the like very normie trailers, which I don't know. The KR ones were pretty interesting. They explain how the class works. They break it down. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get one too. I feel like they should be hyping the shit up out of the class, right? Like, but they talk about surprise marketing. So maybe I'm completely out of touch and I don't know what's good marketing or what's not good marketing. But I would assume trailers coming out ahead of time and skins and
Founders, yeah, like founder skin for last. Another thing, about that.
Mm-hmm.
They're on break, right? Holiday.
Yeah, is that what they said, or you said Easter, right?
Easter holiday.
I mean, it is a
Yeah,
holiday.
yeah.
To be fair, this is the game coming out.
it
You have
is.
Christmas, the Thanksgiving. So you gotta be fair. It is the fucking holidays, and like
True, but
I don't wanna
we
work on
don't have
Christmas.
holidays. We don't have holidays.
True.
Yeah, man.
But
Yeah, so
these
I
people
don't-
are also getting paid like
Yeah.
probably garbanzo wages and stuff like that. Who knows
Mhm.
what their actual pay is? Last thing I want to talk about, and this is something that I really think the game needs. Okay, if I was going to give Lost Ark one critique, and one thing someone brought up, I think it's true. Scar mentioned this as well. Better social systems. Okay, I think Lost Ark is a really fun game. I personally believe that making friends in an MMO or any game is on the player regardless, right? Like you can make the dance, you can set it all up, you can play the music, but at the end of the day, people have to go out there and dance, right? But at least you can set the stage for them. So I have made some of the I've made a lot of friends through Lost Ark in game, also through streaming and stuff like that. But it's because of streaming. I want to we're gonna go through each one of you guys. What do you think about the social systems in Lost Ark? Do you think they need to be improved? And what would you like to see be added to the game to make it feel more of an MMO? Because the director always talks about it, right? He's always saying it's an MMORPG. MMORPGs are about the friends that you make, the memories that you make. But like, how many systems are in the game that allow you to do that? So, what do you think, ATK? We'll go from the top to the bottom.
About the social stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it sucks. I think it's pretty bad.
Okay.
Yeah, because they try to make Loa talk on the Korean server, right? You add friends list and then you can. So here's the thing: you raid with a pug, right? It's a giant bottle, dude.
Dude, I need this. I'm taught. It gets Yeah.
It's like... Oh,
I drink lots
That
of.
just got me there.
That's why I go to the
So-
bathroom a lot. By the way, it's because of this thing.
So let's say you raid, right? And you have people from different servers. So some are bad raids, but let's say all 8 guys are just like all chill. You try for like 3-4 hours on that same raid. right? You would want to friend them, right? And you want to talk to them later. So like, hey, you want to do it again next week, that kind of stuff. I think Law Talk was made for that thing, but it seems like when I talk to my viewers, they go, oh yeah, I had like a good raid experience, but there was no way to contact them afterwards. There's a disconnect there, and I think that's pretty bad. And they try to make systems to actually make that happen. But the one that we had for Korea, the very beginning one, the Law Talk one, the initial one was pretty bad, because as far as I know, it was you had a character, but you can't add them in a roster, because obviously you switch characters, so you don't know if they're online and stuff, right? And also same for friends list too, and same for like guilds, all that stuff. There's a difference between a roster and then there's a like say when you go crossover, there's been a roster and then a character and all that stuff. They gotta like unify it once, right? And it's still, I mean, I guess they're working on it slowly because they're busy with other stuff, but these are the stuff that needs to be addressed so that more people can communicate with each other. And which is another thing you said, they're gonna have a stronghold to be cross servers, right? Like that kind of stuff. Like that kind of stuff needs to come in order for them to at least communicate with each other, right? And to figure that out. And I think NA is in a worser case because they said no one uses the Law Talk stuff on the top left, and maybe that's because no one knows how to use it, right? So I think that's another thing. Like they gotta, in order to make a friend in an MMO, you at least need to have a system that can help you, right? And I don't think the system, it doesn't exist in both Korea and NA at the moment.
I don't use that thing at all. Benji, what about you? Do you think Lost Ark feels like an MMO? Do you think it does a good job of? Where do you think it can improve in feeling like an MMO and adding in social systems?
Social systems, I think it'll improve over time when people actually have to like use voice communications for some of the raids. Like right now for Argos, people don't really need that voice communication, but starting from maybe Vulcan and Vicus, I think people are gonna start wanting to like get into Discord for the voice communication and to beat it, right? I think it'll improve a little bit there, but I mean, at the same time, I think finding the right people like to play with is the real end game for Lost Ark. I think that's the end game.
Yeah.
I honestly have no idea what else Lost Ark can do to improve this. I think it has a lot to do with the people themselves. But having to do Legion raids and like these harder raids might improve that a little bit. Hoping.
Saint, you say it a lot, Saint. I'm in your stream a lot, and you're always saying that the game sometimes doesn't feel like an MMO.
Yeah. You know, I try to think about it, and I'm like, if I was playing another MMO, would I be able to make friends easier than what I do in Lost Ark? And I kind of think about it, and I'm like, actually, probably not. But I will say that Lost Ark feels very impersonal at times. Like sometimes you go into a raid content, you don't even talk to the other people in the group. You know, they're basically NPCs that you're playing with. And I know it sounds weird, but something about the camera angle also makes the game feel very impersonal as well, as opposed to something traditional and over the shoulder that you see in other MMOs. That being said, it's not like the community is like non-existent. Like on US West Mari, you have the sway dancers that are chilling in Punica like every day. In my server in Kazaros, you have people in North Vern that chill and hang out and talk every day by like the Chaos Dungeon entrance. Like there's clearly like communities here. I would say that I'm a little disappointed that the guild system isn't elaborated on a bit more. Like you have the weekly GVE boss, which is not in the West yet, by the way, and GVG, and those are like the only times where you come together as a guild. And it would have been cool if they kind of expanded on that a bit more, because I feel like a guild is like the quickest way to getting people to interact with people close to them, beyond just like the discussions that most people generally just have on Discord and stuff, like while they're in voice chat and whatnot. I don't know if the Stronghold stuff is going to help. They just recently added some stuff to the Stronghold, and you can make like a maze minigame where you transform into a Yeti, which is kind of cool, but you know, there's not that much practicality to it as far as like a reason to do it other than just for fun. Yeah, I hope to see more reason for players to interact directly with each other, because the game tries to put people together, like, you know, with the island events, for example. It's a method of bringing players together in one place, so you feel like you're surrounded by other players, but at the same time, you know, the actual interactions are so little, so it can feel a little bit rough on the player to player aspect.
What about you, Zeals? I remember I was in your stream one time and you said, again, I see you all up in every stream. I remember you saying, someone said, how do I make friends in this game? And you said, you got to ask, man. Like, that's what, because you pug a lot of your stuff, right? You're always pugging. I remember on Korea, you were always pugging. So, and you gave the advice that somebody, you try to ask to make friends. Hey, you played really well. You want to group up together sometime, right? That was the advice you gave somebody. What do you think about Lost Ark and social systems, making friends? What do you think it could improve?
Yeah, it's really hard, dude. Like I guess some people like playing alone, but me, I want to make friends and do these raids together. If it's like, even if it's not on voice count, but voice count would be really nice. Just goof around. I'm not like, if we want to be serious, we could be serious, but I just want to goof around. Just have a good time. So for now, I just feel like there's the regions, there's the different servers. Then it feels like, just like the auction house, kind of clunky. IMO, yeah, it feels clunky.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, we should all do a raid on KR together, right? Because on NA there ain't shit to do for us, right? So we should do a raid on KR together. I think that'd be fun. Just something to fuck around. It could just even be a vault and we're, just trying to run each other down. I think that would be fun. That'd be a fun thing to do. I think I haven't played with every time. I mean, now I remember what I was gonna say. I go into ATK or Benji stream. These guys are too big now, bro. They just dono wall the shit out of me, dude. I'm like, yo, Benji, yo, ATK. They are so big now, man. You guys have blown up on Twitch. I go into your goddamn stream. I just get fucking dono walled. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to play some games or.
But what's a dono wall? What is that?
My experience in your goddamn stream. That's what a dono wall is. My experience in your goddamn fucking stream, man.
It came in when I was doing my Hell Kukusated. Like, how am I supposed to freaking read your chat when I'm doing Hell Kukusated? And you start accusing me of dono walling you while I'm doing Hell Kukusated. Like, how do you say?
Yeah. Jealous of you guys doing that raid. That sounds like a really good time. I'll end it with this. I wanted to share on this social systems. I hate that. I love that guilds give mats. At the same time, I hate that guilds give mats because some of my friends I've been playing with for a long goddamn time left me for like 2 extra leap stones per week, man. It was crazy as hell, man. I was like, dude, I'll give you the goddamn leap stones. Like these goblinos, just so stuff like that. Stuff like that, it feels a little bad because I just want to be in the limited guild space kind of sucks sometimes. Yeah. That's just, whatever. Sorry, you can go.
That's why my guild's me and my ults.
Yeah, you and your ults, right?
Yeah, but it's max level though.
The estate system, I want that to get updated. I love the events that they do. Like, I love the Nurni racing event. I'd like to see more of that stuff be put into the game. It does kind of give me that MMO vibe. And I think the mini games that are coming along, hopefully soon this year, I think would be great for the game overall. Just stuff like that. More horizontal, fun activities to do that isn't, collecting Makokos or single activities. I think that'd be great for the game. Also, my biggest complaint, last one, and I'm done here. The friends list system is absolutely garbanzo beans. I don't know why I have to add somebody and then they have to add me to the roster and there's the roster friends list and then the friends list, but then they have to have added me on the. It's so weird. Let's get that juiced up and make it a little bit better. I think all of those.
And I also think it's because when it was open beta, it was character based, right? Now it's like roster based. That's why. The style of the game changed, and the system's not backing it up. That's what I think.
Yeah. Good point. Okay, that was long enough. I tried my absolute best to try to give everyone here a chance to talk. This was super difficult for me because I just didn't know. It was a lot of guess, but you guys were way more talkative than I thought you'd be. I felt bad trying to cut you guys off. I just wanted to get everyone a chance to speak, and I know a lot of people are here to listen to you guys. So sorry if I talked a little too much or if I cut you off. I just did my absolute fucking best. It was a little bit hard for me to do. You guys did fucking amazing. Thank you guys so much for coming out and doing this. I asked Zeals. He instantly said yes. Saint instantly said yes. All of you did, right? ATK dono-walled me for a solid 10 minutes until but after he was done dono-walling me, I mean, you're just blowing up now, huh, man? You're just too big time for me, huh, ATK?
Me? I'm not that big, man.
Anyway.
But you did come when I was raiding though.
yeah. So I'm always coming to you guys rating. I mean, you're always
Dude,
goddamn
you know,
rating, man. You have 16 characters, man. You're always rating.
I mean, I only made six though, so 6. But I mean, you know, I read chat much slower than you.
Yeah. My head's permanently this way. Nonetheless, super.
Yeah.
Sorry, go for it, Zeals.
Sorry. I mean, we could. It doesn't. I know you had it all structured and all well planned, but we could go anywhere. There's just so much to talk about.
This one, you're right. I wanted to have one with us where it's just us chatting and just no structure. But this one, because there were so many of us, next one we'll do that.
Yeah.
I promise. It's just this one I felt like fuck. There's all these class changes to talk about, and you're totally right. That's what I wanted to do.
Well, so we just all gather up and just talk about stuff. But we
Yeah.
didn't talk about the bikinis.
Korea,
Though. Can we talk about the bikinis though? That's the important stuff.
Yeah,
we
sure.
missed out.
Sure.
We missed out though.
Sure, we can do it again.
I mean, you know something inside me like you guys might not get it. That's the only thing I'm worried about. That's it.
Keyword.
I think. No, the bikini skins, because there's a lot of them. I feel that it's just not gonna come out.
Yeah,
You
you're
really-
talking about the C word.
You really think that?
What do you mean?
You don't think we're gonna get the bikinis?
I don't think so, man. Because it looks like that's what I'm worried as much as you do. Because like it's the C word.
Why is the
Right?
time traveling backwards in the? I don't understand.
Yeah, man.
I
that's what I wanted to say. I didn't say it that way. Good thing Mr. Benji said it.
I was looking at the new anniversary drafts, right, that are coming up on Inven, right?
Yeah. The contest. Yeah.
Contests, they're amazing.
Yeah.
There are some on there that I don't even think would make it into Lost Ark on KR. Like there's
Right.
one of them that's just red
Yeah.
fucking tape. I mean, the
Yeah.
one that dude,
Yeah.
the red tape.
Yeah, I seen that one too. Yeah.
The one somebody came by chat and said Zeal's favorite is this one. What do you think about it? It's like a goddamn. It's like a booba priest. It's like booba priest with like
Yeah, the nun, the dude, the nun.
booba nun.
Yeah,
with,
dude.
with crosses
man.
and straps going across. I mean,
It's good stuff.
it's a good one. But
It's a video game. It's good stuff. It's good stuff, man. It's
no,
good stuff.
they're great. They're absolutely
That is
great.
the best stuff. That is the best stuff about Lost Ark, man. Those things. That's what's up,
The skins.
right? Like you will work. Where are you gonna spend your hard-earned raid gold, man? Like honing until 25? Nah, man. You gotta buy the good stuff, the bikinis and skins, to make it like just dress up your characters, man. That's what's important.
Let's
That's
see.
what makes it good.
Let's see what we get. I mean, I don't think they're gonna censor anything. I feel like there's literally outfits that I've seen that are just booba. But let's see what we get with this next one. If we get the Dante's Inferno,
the Ark Pass one.
that's a
I
good
feel
one.
that there's the Ark Pass one. I bet there's gonna be like a T-shirt right here. I bet you.
You can't do this, man, because when you talk about it like this, I'm gonna be the one that has to. This is gonna go on Reddit. ATK thinks the game's being censored. Then they're gonna come into my stream in the morning. I'm gonna have to answer.
I mean, I hope not, but I can just guess though, because it really feels like
I'm worried
feels
about
like,
Esther skill. What about Inanna when you do the Esther? You know how she does the
oh,
boob,
yeah,
mighty boob thrust.
yeah, yup, yup.
Come on, man. Leave it alone.
Yeah, imagine just remove it as a whole.
All
Leave
right.
my Inanna
That's a lot
alone.
of things, man.
All right.
That's what that Vicus is doing. They're thinking, dude.
The
They're
Vicus pet
thinking.
needs the Vicus pet needs to win. By the way,
Oh yeah, that too. I like that.
The pet's fucking good. With the little game, hopefully you can get that. I would actually love that. The pet with they don't know, but there's a pet with the game where you can do the typing test. I think that would be great. Anyway, let's wrap the YouTube segment up. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Chat, thank you guys for hanging out. Really appreciate your guys' time today. Super happy for you, ATK. OHBENJI, super happy for you. You guys are both killing it. Happy to see you guys growing and succeeding and doing well on Lost Ark. Obviously, Zeal's insane. Super happy for you guys as well. Appreciate you guys' time today. Be sure to check out their streams, their Twitter, their YouTube, all of that stuff I'll have linked down in the description. You can find all of the info there. They're fantastic streamers. They're on all the time, so it's a great place to go check out and get knowledge about the game, keep up to date with what's going on, all that good stuff. Appreciate all of your guys' time today, yeah? Anything else before I wrap it up?
No.
Good.
Thanks for having us on.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right.
Right,
That's it.
Good time.
Thank you
Goodbye,
for
YouTube.
the invitation.
That was the
Bye-bye.
YouTube part.
That was the
Goodbye,
YouTube part. Yeah,
YouTube.
that was the YouTube part.
That was
Goodbye.
YouTube. Goodbye.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.